Turn it up. Oh, conscious banter. We in here. Yeah. Conscious banter. Yeah, we speaking with a purpose. Laugh a little, think deeper under the surface. Two minds, one vibe. Yeah, we keep it real talk. From the jokes to the truth, every time that we walk. Yeah, kick back, tune in, let the convo unfold. From the random to the real, yeah, we breaking the mold. Got opinions, got laughs, got perspective to share. If you're thinking out loud, then you already there. No scripts, just vibes. Yeah, we flow off the dome. Turn a question to a journey, make the unknown home. We debate, elevate, never stuck in the lane. Conscious banner, say the name, let it echo your brain. Conscious banner, yeah, we speaking with a purpose. Laugh a little, think deeper under the surface. Two minds, one vibe, yeah, we keep it real talk. From the jokes to the truth, every time that we walk. Conscious banner. Tap in. Yeah. Turn it up. Oh. Conscious banner. We in here. Yeah. Conscious banter. Yeah, we speaking with a purpose. Laugh a little, think deeper under the surface. Two minds, one vibe. Yeah, we keep it real talk. From the jokes to the truth, every time that we walk. Yeah, kick back, tune in, let the convo unfold. From the random to the real, yeah, we breaking the mold. Got opinions, got laughs, got perspective to share. If you're thinking out loud, then you already there. No scripts, just vibes. Yeah, we flow off the dome. Turn a question to a journey, make the unknown home. We debate, elevate, never stuck in the lane. Conscious banner, say the name, let it echo your brain. Conscious banner, yeah, we speaking with a purpose. Laugh a little, think deeper under the surface. Two minds, one vibe, yeah, we keep it real talk. From the jokes to the truth, every time that we walk. Conscious banner. Tap in. Yeah. Turn it up.
What it do, fool?
What's going on, fam? What's going on?
Ain't much. What up, chat? What up, Relly? What up, Cammy? What up, SD?
Where you see? Oh, okay, I had it.
Good evening. Good Sunday to y'all.
All right, let me see shit. Let me see here. But yeah, man, episode 2. I think this ought to be a fun one. A little lighthearted amongst the world's darkest times. Jeez.
We taking account. I think today we're gonna take accountability today, man. We're gonna switch it up a little bit. We're gonna talk about ourselves today.
Yeah, sure.
By ourselves, I'm not talking about me and Cheeky. Fuck that. Perfect. It's like no. No accountability over here. We don't take accountability. Fuck you mean.
No,
House Husbands 2024. No, but we'll be talking about some Gen Z. Are we Gen Z? Yeah, Gen Z.
I'm millennial. And I think you're old. Right. Yeah. And
you old as Gen Z.
Perfectly fine with being
You just made the cutoff.
Yeah, or big bro, whatever they call it, whatever that nigga tier list was.
I called it like the in between old nigga. Like you transitioning. It's the transition period. You're no longer a YN, but you ain't an old nigga no more. So, or yet, I mean, which one we got pulled up today? Oh shit. Damn. I said
bruh.
Yo, these kids, man. Oh my days, yo. I don't know what the F is going on and who is influencing y'all, but y'all got to get better influences. That's all I'm gonna say. Based on this video we about to watch, y'all gotta get better influences. I don't understand it, man. I don't understand it. It's some desperate times call for desperate measures type of shit, but I don't know if I'd ever be this desperate. What in the fuck?
Let's see, man.
Let's look at these little kids, man.
Pause.
I call anybody that's younger than me a kid, bro. You say pause?
Let's look at these little kids. It's crazy.
I don't know that pause. I'm not thinking about no kid like that. That's weird. Keep them thoughts
safe, my brother.
Keep them thoughts away from me, bro. I'm never. And they like 19. I mean, I'm just like, I call like 20-year-olds kids, 22-year-olds kids. I'm getting old as hell. Like, I got 23-year-old guys on the job sites, 21-year-old guys, 20-year-old guys, and I'm just like, y'all some kids to me, man. The shit y'all be dealing with y'all day to day, bro. The shit y'all stress about.
What is what is it that they be stressing over?
Let's just say the stuff they stress about women be so hilarious, bro. I'm like, you put yourself in that predicament. So,
like, so they doing it to themselves.
Yo, they be doing it to themselves. I remember this one kid. I call them kids. He 18, and he was telling me he was on a college site. He was talking to this one girl, and I guess she was dealing with a breakup or something, or talking about some old dude. And she was like saying how he didn't buy her stuff, and like, man, you should really be treated better. You should really have guys be able, your boyfriend should be able to buy stuff for you. And then later that night, he ended up buying her something, I don't know, of significance. It's not that expensive, but end up spending money on her. And then she take it as a sign that he want to be her boyfriend, or is trying to, like, get with her like that based on how he's talking to her and acting. I'm like, nigga, you put yourself in that situation. If you just wanted to, get in and get out, that's not how
you are not doing it.
One dude took on a $2,000 rent, and he was making $15 an hour. I'm like, y'all niggas slow. Like, you just slow. I mean,
yeah, is that what's really going on with the youngins?
No, the other thing is a lot of them are dating older chicks too. Yeah, they're like 20-year-olds dating 32-year-old women, like 27-year-old women. I know there's one kid, he was 22 when I met him, but he started dating his wife, quote unquote. He was 17 and she was 27.
He was 17, she was 27.
It's either the stories they tell me is either they're in a situationship where they're dealing with an older woman, or they're dealing with a young chick, and they're pretty much like the responsible one, and she be very irresponsible about things like rent or activities or emotional management, and he's out here trying to get it how you live and grind and whatnot, and it's like she fucking up the spot. I'm like, bro, like, don't be there. If she like set rules where she don't be fucking up the spot like that. If she don't stand by and move accordingly, I don't even say rules, boundaries, whatever you want to categorize them, but sitting there quiet, I don't know. It's funny though. It's real funny out there.
Yeah.
But I'm also not in a major city, so I feel like major city issues.
Major
cities. I was about to say major city. I feel like they got harder issues. They got the shit. I think most of these YouTube talking points about women and dating and blah 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 blah, I think is major city issues for the most part. Like, just yeah. Anyways, we can play the video. What we got going on today? I look extra light skinned at it. What? I don't know if that's a compliment or disrespect, but appreciate you.
Good morning. Good morning. All right, man. Let's see.
BW are not men. What is BW?
BW?
Yeah.
That's black women.
What?
BW is black women.
Is that not a redundant statement, or I'm confused? Maybe I've been away from YouTube too long. I don't know.
I'm about to say we gotta.
I don't know what. Yeah, so they're not men. I agree with you. You're right. Travel one. Go ahead.
All right, let's see.
I mean, I had a problem. I had 180 blood pressure, so I was on the verge of capping out. But I mean, I would have looked sick in my casket.
All right, so I'm gonna give y'all a quick little 5-week experience on Tren right now. So it's pretty fun. It will get you strongest.
Why wait 10 years to like reach a physique when I can do it in less than a year?
Hold on, 22.
Really? Yeah, that's it.
With the beard and go off.
You might have seen this freak of nature already. His name is Andrei Smaev, and his lifts are incredible. Inhuman strength in calisthenics, bench press, and arm wrestling. But what really makes him fascinating is how old he looks. In just 4 years, he aged 6 times that.
Most often in society, when we talk about young teens struggling with their...
Pause video. What the fuck is Tren?
Tren is a metabolic steroid. So you got Tren, SARS.
Huh?
Yeah, you've got Test. What else is there? Yeah, but it's a steroid. It's all kind of, all of it is steroids.
How they?
But you know what? Well, you can get somebody to get them for you. You can.
So you gotta get a plug for this.
Yeah, and it's not hard to get. It's not hard to get this stuff. To get that stuff. Honestly,
that's major city issue, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like that's not happening. In both places, that can't be happening in both places, bro.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. But right, it kind of speaks to like, I think this generation just got a lot they be dealing with mentally.
They cooked.
Because it's like they be doing all that stuff because they have body dysmorphia, where the way you see yourself versus how you actually look don't line up. Yeah, so what's a good example? Like imagine The Rock looking in the mirror and saying to himself, "I'm too skinny."
You don't think they just trying to get bitches?
Nah, because most of them don't. Because what you'll find out, most of them don't. Because women don't like that body build. Like bodybuilders.
You saying on the? But I feel like the last dude was an extreme situation. Now I think like the first two dudes, I think are trying to do it to get bitches. So, like the last two dudes, I don't know about that. Like that nigga, he's definitely did it to try to get bitches.
I don't know, man. Like the fact that you got if you're taking steroids, take steroids,
that extreme. He said 180. He willing to die for it. I get what you're saying. Maybe that's deeper than bitches, but I wouldn't call
deeper than that. Like ain't nobody said I'm dying to get bitches. He said I want one. Nobody should be dying for that. Like that defeats the whole purpose. The man didn't say I'm doing it to get it. He said I'm doing it and I would look sick in a casket. Who's doing steroids to get women just to kill themselves in the process? No.
I'm not even saying it's for women. Like I'm talking about literally like the lowest of the low type of women. Not because when I say B word, that's not a generalization. I don't use that word to generalize women. I use that to generalize. Maybe it's like a subcategory of like a hoe.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like that's not most women. Most women aren't B words. But I think like these guys that are desperate in their mind, I think they do this for those other women. They're also super, super low and desperate in their minds. Like, because I don't think like you said, any rational chick sees some nigga willing to die for muscles. They not with that. You only get a chick that fantasize of like a Disney fantasy of a sculpture type of dude that would want some weird, thing like that. I don't think most women want that. Yeah. Anyways, go ahead. That's
oh yeah.
old he looks. In just 4 years, he aged 6 times that.
Most often in society, when we talk about young teens struggling with their image and their appearance, we often look at young women, whether it be anorexia, bulimia, or the BBL/surgery culture that has been running rampant for the past couple of years. 10 times out of 10, anytime that we've talked about the youth struggling with the way that they look and the way that they feel about their outward appearance, we always look to see what the young girly pops are talking about / doing to their bodies in order to make themselves look better, and definitely better in quotation marks. But there is this growing epidemic on the male side of the spectrum that is very, very alarming. Teens are turning to the needle at a rapid rate, and I do mean rapid rate, in order to...
This kid is 16, 500 tests for Anavar.
Our 16-year-old getting this. Like, where is this dude's parents?
Nah, parents, they can't stop this.
How?
Right? Because
you don't see this in your kid, and you're like, let me go through his little gym bag real quick. Like, he even posted it on social media. You don't even gotta go through your gym. These niggas retarded. They slow. They posting. They snitching on themselves. You trying to? I don't understand it. It's like, I thought that the idea is that you do it to fake it. You know, either for yourself, for everybody else, for women, for your friends, whoever it is for. But why is it cool to snitch on yourself now? Like, why is a 6? Why? Oh my God, I have so many questions. Why is he? How does he have it? And why is he dumb enough to snitch?
So the thing is, you can. I'm sure you can. There's always workarounds, right? Like, if you're getting access to testosterone, like a lot of that's not hard to get. Anavar and Tren isn't hard to get either, but you don't have to do it at the house, one. And then two, you don't necessarily have to you don't have to hide everything with social media. You can always have a secret profile. You can have your family blocked. Like, you can block people so they don't see anything.
This other dude found them pretty easy. I mean, the other thing that's in the back of my head is that me, because I've actually gone through a workout journey, I wasn't as crazy, you know, but I've gotten very close to that without doing any of that. So I'm just like, I don't understand. I don't like just go to the gym. Just put in some work.
No. Wait, hold on.
He's
That
right through.
Yeah, don't get it twisted.
They don't have to take all this other extra. Take some creatine, nigga. Like, damn, like that's like, that's legal, man. Take some creatine. Like, why you gotta testosterone? Are they trying to even out the mixture of hormones? It was testosterone always a thing, a part of? I thought steroids are just steroids. I didn't know. So I'm saying, I'm learning. I didn't know if there's all these subcategories of roids. Like, which is the one to make your pee small? Can't be testosterone.
So I think that
Tren.
I don't know if that's true. I'm about to say I don't think that's like a true.
Which one make your pee small? One of these things is these kids are stunting their growth in other ways, and I know one of them 50, 80, 500 or something is fucking them up. Because I don't understand it. I could never in my life. That makes your testicles small. They make it. How would you know, Cammy? Ain't you like 19? The hell you on the internet?
I think she's officially like 21 now.
Damn, I'm old. Damn, I'm old.
So
I am getting old. Go ahead, play the video.
To achieve this looksmaxxing lifestyle. Peptides, steroids, and even recreational drug use have been used over the past couple of years in order to make these young men have this achievable physique. And this is super dangerous. The long-term effects of these things are extremely understated, and I am devastated for what's to lie for these young men who are turning to drugs to looksmax. If you're new to this and you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. It goes a very, very long way. There's no steroids for subscribers. Well, I guess we can buy views, but nonetheless, every subscriber is a real inch
we can buy views
to a
where that at? We can buy views. I need to get on top of that.
No, you could buy it, but I think it's
buy some views in this motherfucker. Get the likes up. Get all 10 likes up.
Right.
New person joining the community. Now, Back to the video. Now, this one is very sentimental to me. I, like other young men, have gone through transformations and journeys when it comes to muscle mass, gaining weight, losing weight, all these other things like that. Graduating high school, I was about 175 pounds. I played football. I had muscle. I could squat 450 pounds. I could bench 280. I mean, I was a physical specimen relative to size, you know, all those things like that. But then as I joined school and started in the workforce, I started to lose muscle mass and size rapidly. I ended up looking like a lollipop on top of a stick. And then one day I went down my own weightlifting awakening. I started going to the gym 2 times a day. I started lifting weights, eating more, all these different things. And I too found myself doing these extreme measures in order to gain weight. There's this muscle mass gainer called double XL mass gainer or something like that. I don't know. It comes in a blue bag. It has a big yellow XXL on there. I was probably making 2 of those shakes, consuming close to 5,000 calories a day because I was also eating 4 meals, and I was jacked. And I felt those ramifications. It was not healthy for me to seek Looksmaxxing in that way to achieve that physique. Sure, did I look great? Absolutely. But I didn't feel well. Now, I say all that to say that every young man goes through this journey and this path at some point, whether they're Looksmaxxing for themselves or to attract the gender that they are most attracted to. Most people go through this, but how they go through it is so important because there are unhealthy ways and there are healthy ways to do it. And I'm going to tell you, teenage steroid usage is not it.
It looks like a healthy habit, but what's hiding underneath tells a different story. 16-year-old Zaid Layla is a high school student from suburban Dallas and drawn into a viral trend.
Why wait 10 years to like reach a physique when I can do it in less than a year?
Layla shared.
I mean, you see why they're doing it. It's like this enhanced way to. It's a super enhanced way to get results quicker, right? And I guess it's all kind of ties into the short attention span, the inability to wait for.
Slow, bro. Can we just say that to sum it up? Because I'm so sick of these little niggas doing the slowest things in life, and then they'll cry about it later. That's what I hate about most people is that you can do whatever you want. Just don't cry about it and don't put impede on everybody else's ability to do whatever they want. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to do whatever you want in your house, as long as that shit don't hurt nobody else, leave it alone, man. I don't care. But your ass out there gonna cry about it later, looking like that again at 30 because you decided you don't want to work out and eat right no more. Because it's like a microwave. If the faster the result, also the quicker it cools off. So these people out here trying to get these fast results, they don't, like you said, they don't get no discipline. They don't get no mental fortitude. Their body don't develop and nurture into what it's trying to be and develop a cycle of eating certain foods to where you don't want to eat the bad shit anymore because it's going to make you feel sick. But you doing it so quickly, now you're out here bullshitting and you won't be back on the same place you was at what is that? He was 14 there. He said he's 16 in the interview. So this shit is crazy. I would never. I guess I'm gonna have to find out on my own. I have to teach this little nigga something. But go ahead.
This photo from early 2024 when he was 15 years old. Since then, he's documented his transformation.
How does a 16-year-old look like this?
A lot of steroids and a lot of working out, honestly.
Steroids?
Yeah.
So how long have you been on?
I'd say about like the last 10 months.
Zaid is just a young man from Texas that has been hopping into the steroids game, not because he's trying to become a more competitive athlete, not because he's trying to look better for the Mr. Olympia challenge or anything like that, but simply due to the fact that he has been taking on social media trends, looking at his algorithms on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and saying that this is the way that I need to go about making my life better. This is somebody that is willing to damage their body beyond repair because these aren't even regular grade steroids that he's taking at this point. He is taking stuff that they use on cows in order to make his physique look better for mainstream social media. It's gotten so bad that he has now even become an influencer in the space surrounding social media. The reason why I keep even referencing social media is because the doctor interviewed in this CBS segment and Zaid himself referenced that there's been an uptick in social media steroid usage and it being promoted as like this catch-all thing. And Zaid would even mention that, hey, without social media, I wouldn't even be doing this.
Bro, that's why they need. I don't know, that social media ban sound like it should be happening. Sound like it should be happening. The more and more you start seeing how social
I'm
media influence these
cool with
kids.
social media being gone, bro. I'm cool with it. I'm with you.
Or get to you 21.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what do they do with the porn shit where you had to like put your license or something? Or
Yeah.
do that, man. Just do that on a federal level. Don't do a state level. Fuck that. Do that shit on a federal level. Just get rid of these phones. Do that shit for 10 years, for 20 years, and see how it goes. Because you're gonna work that shit out the culture. You're gonna work it out of the influence of the next generation of parents where that's not a regular thing they just think is cool to have and cool to do. It's like, nah, we didn't have social media growing up. You're not about to have social media growing up. That's gonna be the new little trendy trend thing. Like, no. It became kind of lenient because I think it was a generation of parents that got traumatized to where it's like, man, my parents didn't give me nothing, so I'm gonna give my kids the most that I can, this close to everything in the world. So you got little 5-year-olds out here with phones and tablets and iPads and Wii's and PS5s and computers and all this other extra crap. So ban it. Ban it for they were doing a study in the UK. I think I gotta pull up that video.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you saw it, right? They with the kids, they banned the phones for like a whole month or something, and anxiety levels went down, all this other stuff went down, like just the mental concentration in class went up, sleeping, like just they had sleeping problems, a lot of those went away. Just a lot of, man. Get rid of your kids' phones, bro. Get one of them little what is it, the bug phones? All it could call is you and the police.
Jitterbug. Get him a jitterbug. Jitterbug.
Whatever is out nowadays is a jitterbug. You want them to be able to call you, man. Don't get them no phone. Don't get them no
young people now who aren't actually participating in any types of sports, who are using these drugs only for the purposes of looking better.
So this is migrated from the realm of athletics into aesthetics?
Yep, I think it's relatively less recognized that actually with more social media, there have been really extreme pressures for boys to build muscle.
Your social media feed at this point?
Obviously, gym influencers, the top ones right now.
Do you think you would have gotten on steroids?
Yeah, so I know that guy. I've seen that guy before.
Is that nigga that did it? That nigga right there did it, bro. I don't know who he is, but I know he big with the young kids, and I know he
influencers, the top one.
Yeah.
Who's the other kids
right now?
Do you think
this guy?
Yes, him. Yeah. I've seen him before. I don't know his name.
I don't know it either. Him, the Tren twins.
Clavicular. That's that. That's
clavicular. Yeah, that's another one. They all a part of this.
I hope brothers ain't doing this, because right now I'm not seeing a lot of brothers in these interviews, and I hope. But grand scheme of, I hope the young kids. But yeah, this is bad. I blame Cheeky in the.
What? How you blame me?
Would have gotten on steroids without social media?
No, definitely seeing like people do it is like what makes you want to do it.
And this is why I hate the Looksmaxxing and red pill community, and I'll get to them in 2 seconds. But what's being glossed over with these kids is the long-lasting impacts of long-term drug usage, specifically steroids. Some of these folks look old as hell.
What do you think, bro? 22.
More like
22.
22 years since his last divorce, or 22 years in prison. When people think about the downsides of steroids, they mainly focus on heart problems or gyno. But not many worry about what happens to every steroid user: premature aging. The body may look strong and muscular, but the face becomes round, swollen, and wrinkly. But how does it happen? There are few reasons for that. Steroids change how the body manages water. Water retention means the body keeps extra fluid under the skin. When this fluid collects in the cheeks, around the jaw, and under the eyes, the face begins to look swollen. Why does that make someone look older? Because swelling hides the sharp lines that make a face look young, like a clear jawline and defined cheekbones. Steroids also affect where fat is stored. Fat redistribution means fat moves from one part of the body to another. Instead of sitting in the hips or legs, some fat may collect in the face and neck.
These guys think that they are looksmaxxing by using steroids, but really they are age max. And if they think that this is the worst of it all, then I would say that they are sadly mistaken, because steroids and other drug usage in order to look aesthetically better is probably the worst thing that you could possibly be doing.
The biggest one was acne, of course. I mean, Greg Doucette made a whole video on it, calling me out.
Is his body telling him in Braille to perhaps stop, to maybe think a little?
And I'm losing hair. So
Yeah,
I got
hairline check. Are you willing? Are you willing?
Hell no.
I don't want to show the hair. There definitely is bald. Let me see. Let me see. We will blur it. We'll blur it. Let's see. Nah, no.
Yeah. Back hair. I look like a fucking gorilla. That shit is like, it's pretty bad.
Oh, I was basically like a female on her period. My estrogen was like 150. Yeah, that was bad. I had mood swings like this. I'd be sitting there, I'd start crying out of nowhere. I also had milk come out of my.
Were you fully informed of all this?
All right, that's what. You're losing me. You're losing me. You're losing me.
You was with them at all? They lost me earlier.
I mean,
What?
look, man. At one point, it's just like,
They'll
okay,
fuck your nipples?
you're a kid, all right, and you want you have your own issues and self-image. I understand that, right? I don't agree with the steroid use, but when you start milking, bro, you now at that point, even if you're a kid, you got to be like, all right, bro, we're going a little too far here. Bro said he was leaking.
The compartmentalization
Side effects that steroids could do.
What'd you say?
The compartmentalization that it takes to rationalize what's happening to you and for you to keep doing it.
And keep doing it, bro. Come on. What are we doing?
There's something not. There's
There.
something. Where's my? There's something not clicking in your brain. Okay, when you have deeper issues than steroids, your brain is fucked up. It's not clicking. It's not computing. Until you can get a proper software installed in your head, you'll never figure it out. This is insane. Nigga said milk out his nipples. He's having mood swings like women. And he's still doing it.
It's a deeper issue, dog. That's much as crazy.
I also had milk come out of my.
Were you fully informed of all the side effects that steroids could do to your teenage body? Yes, and I still said f it.
After one of my cycles, my cholesterol came back like worse than a dead person. Like cholesterol that you could never humanly achieve unless you were abusing drugs. And it was like 20 times the risk of having like whatever. My veins clogged up on me. So that was scary.
This once was thought to be some sort of smaller phenomenon. If you go to the right gym in the right small town, you'll probably see some guys that carry a gym bag with them from bench to bench, from weight to weight, doing every single rep, secretly injecting themselves in the bathroom to get themselves juiced up for the next set of 20 curls with dumbbells the size of my torso. But just like anything else that was small and niche, once social media got involved, things ballooned out of control. No pun intended. I don't think that I need to go into this, but social media is extremely pervasive. It's extremely addicting, and it can influence the way that people's brain chemistry and mind works, what they look towards, what they're attracted to. So it makes sense that young men are looking at these influencers on social media that are building muscle mass, growing big and strong and stuff like that, and idolizing them because those people are also most likely close to women, cars, money, et cetera, et cetera. And I don't think there would be any problem with that, except for the fact that these people are now outwardly open with their drug usage. At one point in time, steroids used to be this shameful secret, this hush-hush, no, don't ask, don't tell type situation, but definitely don't be public about it. Now you have guys like Clavicular being openly outward about it. You have guys like Zaid, the first young man that we talked about in this video, claiming to be an influencer, literally posing with needles. And then you have guys like ASU frat leader who are either not denying it or making it so obvious that people have to say something about this roid usage.
So right now I'm on a very low dose of test. I'm on around like 220 milligrams. Okay. I'm on 25 milligrams of Accutane. I'm on 12 milligrams of retatrutide. I'm on 10 milligrams of nebivolol. What's that? It's a beta blocker. Okay. On 2.5 milligrams of minoxidil, a lucky dip of dutasteride, lanotan.
This dude is naming so many chemicals. So many of them,
bro.
He's a walking chemical farm. Oh, what's up, Brittany? Oh wow, what's good?
Even
Who else is here? I haven't been looking at the chat.
Does he do all that and just not go to the gym? Is that what I'm saying right now?
Who, him?
Yeah.
No, he goes to the gym. He's just slim.
What, he does not eat?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what his life is as far
Like,
as
why are niggas not like Arnold Schwarzenegger out here doing all that chemicals?
Because it's literally it's everybody's body doesn't react the same to test or any steroid. Like the people you see that are bodybuilders and get that huge, the likely chance of them already being a genetic specimen that was just already crazy is high. But the percentage of people that fall into that category is low. So it's like they keep trying to do this thing, and I don't even know if this applies to clavicular or anyone else, but you don't get the same results with anything that you do because everybody's body and bodies receive things very differently. And plus, he likes this look for himself, so he doesn't do it to get big. So I don't know, man. This dude is a walking mental case, honestly.
Toxic ignorance. You can be ignorant.
Or, no, it's not even ignorant, bro, because they're very aware of what they're doing.
I don't know. I really don't know. I really don't know if they really understand the consequences of their actions. And it's unfortunate. I think it's because I'm getting old, you know, gotta get my old man more sway shit going on.
Not the beard.
I think they've had some bad influence. I don't think they know what they don't know, man. And it's deeper than rap. It's sad, man. It's a sad day for these little kids, man. They want to call them dumb and soft and weak, but look at the links they go into just to be conceived as strong. And the community niggas is putting it on the front, acting like a thug. These niggas putting it on the front, acting like a Chad. They really a lame at heart. They really soft at heart. Granted, I think I seen a video of him running into a dude with a car, so I don't know if he's too soft, but he definitely loose.
He's got his own, like, when you start looking into these kids, it's not as, I don't want to say it's ignorance. They have their own perspective of life in their own philosophy.
They slow there. Are we back to them being slow? I'm cool with saying they slow. That's fine.
You could say that they're slow, but there's a lot of thought behind what it is they believe.
There's a lot of thought behind what crackheads do every day. How to get new crack, where I'm gonna get that crack, how I'm gonna take it, what I'm gonna eat after it. You know what I mean? Like, it took a lot of thought for them to figure all that out. And so for this dude here, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, that's how I see it. But maybe I'm dumbing it down. Maybe you think differently, and that's why you here, because I can't.
Yeah, I think it's something
milk
totally
out my
different
for muscles, nigga.
So the reason why, because it is deeper than rap. It is deeper than all of that. This person, Clavicular, has his own ideologies and viewpoint on the world that has led him to this decision making, and he explains or has explained it right in some detail. But there's nothing you can do to change someone's ideology besides either combat it or have them explore it and let them know it's wrong. Now, if that exploration of their own ideology leads to them being dead, there's nothing you could do about that, right? I feel like parents involved or not, these kids are still going to be these kids because there's something not being addressed on a psychological level. Me and you will say it's dumb, I guess regular people whose psychology is normal will say this is dumb or why were you doing this? But there's something deeply wrong and broken with people that are willing to go to these lengths for aesthetics, because he's the person that created Looksmaxxing or anything Maxing. Every time you hear some dumb shit with Maxing in it, it's because of him and his ideology. And kids are following him and his ideology like they're following Sneeko and everybody else. So saying it's dumb may be true, but it's reductive.
Man, when did it become cool again to be a follower? Like, I actually never know it would be cool to be a follower. When did it become cool to be a follower? Like,
it always,
I don't know, bro.
Yeah.
I've always been told to be a leader. I've always been told to think for yourself. I always told not to go with the trend and fuck what niggas is doing out there because maybe the environment called for it. But in the same breath, I'm just like, what niggas gonna think for themselves? My God, like so many followers out here, bro. This shit is insane. And young men don't need to be a bunch of followers. That's y'all niggas' problem now. That's why you got to go to Looksmaxxing. That's why you guys can't get no women. So you can't get a wife because you a little fucking follower. Get your own nuts, nigga. Think for yourself. Go to the gym. Get a job. Get some education. Read a book. Talk to somebody. And you wouldn't have time to be watching this weird nigga on YouTube, Claviclia or whatever is weird at. Who even comes up with a weird name like that and think that I'm going to just watch? Like, that just sounds corny. Why are y'all watching him? Don't even watch me. Go get a job. Go get some women. Go get some kids. Live a life. Build a community. Nigga, like, this shit is weird. I want this channel to be a place where you don't come back because you got shit going on in your life. You listen to what I said and you applied it, and now you don't have time for this shit no more. I don't want you to be on YouTube every day. This is insane.
I take melatonin too. I'll do a lot of L-glutathione, so that's another NAD plus, HGH, right? Got IGF-1, LR3, Anavar.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you one thing though. Streamers, we stick together. That's why I fuck with you because you're a streamer. Yeah. But I don't like that you do steroids.
I'm not allegedly.
I'm gonna tell you something. You're gonna think about what I said in like 5 years. You're like, I would listen to Rampage. I'm gonna tell you this: stop doing steroids. Look at your stretch marks. I see it. I know everything, nigga. You know what? I used to fight in Japan. I used to fight steroid freaks that's like you. Yeah. It's ways you can do it naturally. But you're too young to be taking this shit. It's going to fuck you up in the long run.
Now, although Rampage Jackson gave ASU frat leader, crazy ass name, a warning sign about steroid usage, it seemed to roll right off his back. But he really needs to heed this warning. Like I said, body imaging issues are not a new thing when it comes to the internet. It's something that has existed for a long time, and the solutions for these things, these quick fixes, have always been out there. But now we are stepping into a day and age where there are celebrities, influencers, people with microphones who now have a place and space to talk about the negative impacts of these things. People who in the past have done these surgeries, have gotten these steroid injections, BBLs, or whatever the case may be, are now coming to the forefront and talking about those regrettable actions and decisions that they made in their youth because it is now impacting them as they are adults.
Remember when I was like 20-something years old and I first started taking steroids? I've tried everything: Tren, Masteron, Clenbuterol, Winstrol. And then I get in my 30s and screwed up my hormone levels and was never able to get back.
So what would you say to a 20-year-old watching right now that's thinking about getting on gear?
Don't even think about it.
I got some injections, which is illegal. Don't do that. That's why I really don't like talking about it, because I influence a lot of younger girls, and I don't want them to feel like, oh, well, Jada got it, I need to get it, because I know a lot of people who got these same injections and they had to get theirs removed, or they're rejecting, or they're having
your advice is not to do that.
So my advice is not to do it, because everybody is different. So that's why when people ask about like surgeries and stuff, I really never say like, I never tell them I didn't get anything done, but I don't like to advocate for ass shot or butt shots. Right. It's not okay.
That's one of the downsides about the internet in this conversation, and ultimately it probably leads to a catch-22. We need people to talk about the negative impacts of steroid usage, BBLs, body dysmorphia, these surgeries to make yourself look better and Looksmaxx. But on the same token, the only way that we get those people is if we have those people that have done these sorts of drugs and stuff like this before. With that being said, that's exactly why I hate the red pill community and some of the influencing community. Seeing them run around and talk about looking better, you know, through gym, diet, exercise, seeing them go through these social media spells where they'll get a BBL and document the experience for the entire time doesn't provide a lot of nuance and detail to any of these situations, which ultimately leads to their young influential population around them picking up bad habits. Earlier in the video,
yeah, for sure. That's a fact. I think that, especially when it comes to the Manosphere red pill stuff, I don't know, right? Like it's funny because when we say Manosphere red pill, we're thinking like, I guess generally about the black Manosphere and red pill, but I don't even think they have a young audience. can't think of anybody young that was in the Manosphere / Red Pill besides you, Sherelle, Sway, and Cammy. But we don't see too many young people in the Black Manosphere, Black whatever. But they're definitely a part of the Red Pill Manosphere mainstream one that involves white people or racist Black people or like Myron and all of them. So it's very odd to have that dynamic. The Black Manosphere has its own thing. Exactly, Brittany. That's my point. We were the young ones. I don't know. I don't think there are any more young ones around now. Like, I don't know who they are.
We can't say we ain't even around no more like that. We don't know what the fuck.
So it's like
I don't know who's come and who's gone and who's currently here. So
Sway, we were the only ones that were young, and now we're getting older, so that don't even count. There's no pool for younger people. These conversations that we were part of, all of them niggas was 35 plus. You got into it with a 60-year-old man. You didn't get into it with no young nigga. You got into it with the old man with a bad heart. You was not talking nobody your age, dog. You was not talking to nobody your age. And that's the thing. And the funny thing is, all of the young people, all of the young people that were involved, if you look at our background and backstories, we would always say we felt like we were old and we had an old soul, or we always hung around old people, so we just felt comfortable being there. You get what I'm saying? Like, even with us, we were the young. And us being the young, there was no new recruits. We weren't like, hey, little brother, come to this. No, absolutely not. No. Why would
they weren't interested?
That's my point. Because there's no real appeal. There is no appeal to Black Manosphere besides old disgruntled Black men talking about old disgruntled Black women.
They just talking about, bro. They just out here reminiscing, talking about plights and this and that, pointing fingers. Just a bunch of old children. I get it. That's Black YouTube, you know. But that's the Black community in a nutshell too, in a lot of ways. So we will see how it plays out. But you're right, though. They are a part of the Red Pill space. They're just not part of like the mainstream. The Lapeef, the Angry Mans, the whatever space. They'll be a part of what's that? The Daily Wrap Up crew. I think that's
but again, we start naming these places and people. The average age or average age of the watcher is 30 plus. Right. And I understand that 30 is quote unquote young, but not to this. No, it's not at the same time.
You 30.
That's my point. It's not young. We're on the same page.
I don't even know. Are you 30?
No, I'm not. But I am definitely okay with being perceived as 30 because that don't matter to me. The point is, these quote unquote spaces have never been the space for young people because none of these issues are young people issues, which is why every time me and you or somebody young was introduced to the conversation and we say, hey, this is what we're experiencing, hey, nothing new under the sun. What young person say shit like that?
The simps.
And all of the simps was 30 plus, 35 plus. Like, it's like these conversations have become increasingly more redundant and pointless, which is why the disappearance of you and whoever was here at one point that was young makes sense, because the shit that they was talking about is like, what are you talking about? Like, no, that's not what I'm experiencing. And why are you experiencing this at your old age?
That's the real question.
That's the question. Okay. My experience makes sense.
When you're talking about this shit.
All young and immature. Your experience doesn't make sense because you're 50. Tell me why you're being influenced by anything besides your life experience. And why are you running into these issues at 50? Now, again, that's not to say that self-accountability doesn't play a part or you can't do, but some of these conversations is just like, what are you talking about?
There's a lot of old niggas seeking guidance and comfort from the internet. Like they just want to come up here and tell their stories and feel included. Or they literally looking for answers because they've never figured it out for the first 40 to 50 years of their life. They still getting the same outcomes. And the crazy part is the thing they needed to figure out was accountability. Look in the mirror. Don't think every woman treats you this and every woman is some type of bad woman because you're a loser. And vice versa. Not every man ain't shit because you're annoying to be around. I'm sorry.
What do you want us to say?
Like that's literally the crux of it. You're too annoying to be around and you're a loser. That's it. You don't know how to talk. You don't know how to read. You don't know how to carry yourself. You don't know how to get a substantial job. You don't know how to, and then a woman, you don't know how to comfort. You don't know how to love. You don't know how to shut up or watch your mouth and not get overly disrespectful because society has promoted us as equals. So you think you can talk like a man, but not get male accountability and responsibility in doing so. And so the niggas just move accordingly when you want to call him a bitch ass nigga or whatever it is. I mean, I'm not gonna argue with no woman that call me a bitch ass nigga. I'll just leave, and I won't tell you that that's the reason why.
Video, I mentioned the journey and transformation that I went on when I was a young 20-something-year-old, but I did not talk about why I don't look like that today. Ultimately, packing on that amount of mass at a short amount of time, because I packed on maybe 30 pounds, 40 pounds in a 3-month span or something like that, had major impacts on my knees. It was starting to hurt to walk. It was starting to hurt to jump. I couldn't play basketball. I wasn't doing any cardio because it was not helpful. Plus, I'm pretty sure what I was consuming was like plastic and hay and straw and shredded up glass in order to get the calories on. And then also being somebody who was consuming like 5,000 calories every single day was not sustainable. And that's just from regular dieting and exercise culture, which can also lead to body dysmorphia and all these other challenges with young people's mental health. That's here for a longer video. I'll put a pin in that. But for these steroids influencers, these Looksmaxxers, these people that get BBLs and other cosmetic surgeries, they don't talk about the times where they have roid rage. They don't talk about the times where they're losing hair. They don't talk about all the blood-soaked sheets. They don't talk about how you have to have this support system to help you after you have these surgeries. They don't have these conversations. They're too busy selling ebooks and.
What'd you say?
Blood-soaked sheets?
I think he's talking about BBLs because they have like something called leakage. Yeah.
But then the dude did say, he said he was getting emotional like a woman. He had milk come out of his nipples. So some of them talking about it. So
yeah,
courses about what to do afterwards, and then also maybe a clothing line, because once you have the surgery, you'll look good, et cetera, et cetera. And for what it's worth, this is also another place in space where I have to blame these algorithms for not having enough safeguards for the youth when it comes to consuming this type of content, especially because it's kind of shaped as a harmless type situation. But this type of gym influencer, steroids maxing content is one swipe away from my search on how to do a proper push-up or how to do a proper chin-up. The BBLs are mixed in with what jeans to wear for this spring. And the whole time, these bad faith actors who are trying to sell a course or an ebook are mixed in with people who are doing real life advice, real life self-help, and all these other things. It's actually disgusting. Long story less long, as a young person, your body is still developing and growing. And ultimately, everybody isn't meant to look like these things that we see on Instagram and social media. 90% of the time, these people have photos that are altered. These people are genetically gifted, or they are surgically gifted. I think that people need to understand those risks and what they take on before they go down this path, because once you go down it, it is extremely hard to turn back, if not impossible.
So, yeah, it is one of those things. It is one of those things.
I still think it's a major city issue when it comes to the young people. Even though the major cities where all the people at, but the reason why it's becoming this not polarizing, but like somewhat of a mainstream conversation is because of how mainstream it's starting to become in major cities. I don't think it's across the whole country. I don't think there's guys in Idaho or Ohio, some random,
some random state.
Maybe even in like Florida or like, even California itself, it'll be in like the pockets. Like, I don't think it's everywhere in Florida or California or New York. I mean, New York, people think of New York, they think of the city, not the state. And the state's bigger than the city. So.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I don't know. I think
my brain hurt.
I don't know if you can really avoid this. Like, there's nothing to stop smaller cities from getting the internet. So whatever we used to think was just populated to major cities, I think has expanded into something totally different. Like, I think it's going beyond just the small towns, because the small towns still have Instagram, they still got the internet, and that still influences them as well. Like, social media across the board just influences young people in high alarming rates that we've never seen before because the internet wasn't a thing.
I've probably seen one BBL in where I live, and it was from a Hispanic woman, an older woman, like in her 40s.
Right, but we're talking about older women. Like, what you see in, like, if you go to when you go to your job site, ask them what they're watching on YouTube and Instagram. Just see
the Hispanic ones.
Just generally, I don't know. Like,
there ain't a lot of women on the job site besides Hispanic ones, and I'm not on
women.
I'm not on commercial site anymore.
Okay, well, I'm just saying, like, generally speaking,
the dudes,
the
dudes watch red pill content.
You see what I'm saying? Like, you can't escape that.
But I don't know if they Looksmaxxing.
Well, Looksmaxxing is extreme, but my thing is influence.
That shit is. I'm assuming what this is that we just watched is Looksmaxxing, right? Like that whole roided out for the gym.
That's it's his own separate thing. They tend to overlap, but it's not the same exact thing.
So red pill manosphere overlap.
You said what now?
A red pill manosphere overlap. Red pill and manosphere are not the same thing. Manosphere is male improvement. Red pill is just the truth and reality.
Yeah, but those people tend to be manosphere, okay? Yeah. But I don't know, man. I don't think this information. I don't think there's anything that can be done to stop the spread of the stuff like this. It's just online, and unless we just cut the internet off, kids is gonna watch it. Kids are gonna find a way to see it.
Kids definitely need to touch grass nowadays. It's kind of tough. It's kind of tough, man. Grass is no longer being stomped on. Basketballs are no longer being dribbled. Footballs are no longer being thrown. Tag. Nigga, do something. Go outside.
Tag. I remember tag.
Hide and seek. Shit, you want to do some nigga shit? Go with a
what's it called? When you go out dark, go at night and play hard.
Bro. Oh man, what is it called? You go to people's doors and you just bang on their doors and run. Something ditch. I can't remember.
Ding dong ditch.
Ding dong ditch. Yeah, go ding dong ditch somebody's house, nigga. I don't care, bro.
I don't know.
Might get shot, but it's better than.
I swear, yeah. At one point, I would have agreed with you, but now niggas is getting shot and hung. So I don't know. If you black, probably don't do that, or just stay safe. But if you white, yeah, you got a better shot of having fun.
Go to your grandmama house and just pow. It's a dip.
Yeah.
Or your grandmama's neighbor. Somebody. Do something. Anything. Obviously, I'm just I'm bullshitting. They got ring cameras. Oh hell. Man, they ain't no fun no more. They do got ring cameras in the hood now. I actually installed 2 of them. Somehow her neighbors figured it out, but she was too embarrassed to ask them. So, but nah. What did I send you? I sent you the other video.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, we could watch the other one if you want, or we can drop the link and see if somebody wants to come up and disagree or what. What do y'all want? Y'all want to watch another video? We got another one. Or do you want us to drop the link? We're doing one-on-ones. Obviously, there's two of us, but we only want one person to come up at a time. And then if there's time at the end, we might open it up. But for the most part, we just want to do one-on-ones to allow people to get their thoughts out. I don't want a bunch of people just blurting. If nobody joins, then we can just watch the next one. Cool with that. I'm really trying to compartmentalize. Like, this is what I've said before, Cheeky. Either I'm retarded or I'm a genius. Or either I'm normal or I'm not. Because I don't think like most people. I don't even know. Let me step a step back. I don't even know if that's most people that would be influenced by that type of lifestyle. You know, what we just watched. But I could never. There's nothing in my brain that could allow me to be influenced to thinking I need to do all that. Physically, mentally appealing or successful in whatever I do. That I don't need that. That don't make sense to me. He said, "Y'all got panel." Yeah, I do have panel trauma. I do. Fuck a panel. I can't do a panel. I did panels for 4 years. It is not worth it. Especially not if I'm hosting it. Hell no. If I could just dip in and dip out, do whatever I need to do and say whatever I need to say, I ain't got no restraints or complaints or gotta manage this and that and the third. Nah. Way too grumpy for panels. I ain't even grumpy. I'm chill. I'm a chill guy. I'm very copacetic. All right, ain't nobody coming out. You got the other video?
Yep.
I'm very copacetic. Where is the evolution, the innovation, the determination?
Value men, alpha men who can compete successfully. I'm Dr. Orion Taraban, and this is PsycHacks, Better Living Through Psychology. And the topic of today's short talk is Rise of the Beta. So folks online talk a lot about high-value men, alpha men who can compete successfully both in life and in the sexual marketplace. We know that, all things being equal, women tend to mate and date hypergamously. That is, they tend to mate and date up status hierarchies. By the same token, we know how difficult it is to ascend those same hierarchies, which implies that those at the top must be more competent, more diligent, more intelligent, more ruthless, etc., than those at the bottom. However, all this kind of begs a question. Namely, if alpha men are supposed to be at the top of social status hierarchies, then why is it that so many of our corporate leaders and cultural icons and elected politicians are such weak fucking dorks? Like, why don't we see alpha chads running the world? While we've seen a shift toward traditional men.
Hold on. That out.
No random outburst.
I was not expecting him to go off in the deep end like that. I was not expecting him to just go like, he's just talking very casually. He's like, so why are they so weak fucking pussies? I was like, God damn, man, what the fuck? Got aggressive real fast. Would you agree? No? Do you know anything about the corporate political world? Do you think right now we voted on a bunch of pussies? In terms of the men.
No, because politics is valued differently than whatever he's talking about. Okay. So the same reason why the person that created the atomic bomb wasn't 6'6" with a 6-pack, and no, that nigga was a nerd. So he was learning how to split. learning how to split atoms. So yeah, there's different usage for different things, but I don't know, calling him a pussy.
I don't even think that like the nerd, just because you're a nerd would make you a beta. You know, I don't even know your height would make you a beta. I've seen videos of dogs where it's like one of the small, it's like a pound of dogs, right? Like I guess it was some type of kennel or whatever, but the one of the smallest dogs was the alpha of everything. He was like stomping on niggas' necks because nobody was fucking with him. So I don't necessarily know if it's the height or how smart you are. I do think your smart's you being smart can probably make you more likely to be an alpha than you being dumb.
Yeah.
You being able to dictate your surroundings.
Yeah, but saying that the people in office are pussies, like,
but they're not pussy because they smart. They pussy because they are weak minded. Like they're weak in will.
And and my thing is, how would they be weak in will and then achieve the things that they've achieved? Like that's not going to coincide with anything that they're saying, huh?
Because they're selfish.
Because they're selfish. What do you mean?
Yeah, like if I did everything within my power to put myself ahead of everybody else, I'm sure I would have done some diabolical ass shit. Not even necessarily diabolical, but some slimy shit to get to where I needed to because I'm selfish.
Right. And then I get what you're saying. So then my question to him is, what does he consider to be strong men? Because if he says Andrew Tate or anybody that we know to be slimy, then I would say they're actually on par in character. So yeah, they would be equal. In fact, the politician is more powerful than Andrew Tate because the politician has access to power that Andrew Tate doesn't.
Trying to get his ass locked up for 3 years or something like that.
You see what I'm saying? Like he could do so much more than Andrew Tate can do to him. Andrew Tate wouldn't be able to touch no man who doesn't have any political influence or power or whatever the case may be. Speaking on men that do, has no right to talk. I don't know who this guy is, right? I have no idea what he does. I don't know anything about him. I don't know if he lobbies for law. I don't know anything about this guy. But if he says because of whatever the reason, he's more powerful than some politician that's in office that could really fuck his life over, you don't seem too strong, buddy. You seem dumb. That's just my stance on it. So by all means, now if you want to strip that all the way, right? Because that's what a lot of the guys that speak on alpha, beta, all that, they'd be like, well, imagine a world with no power. There was already a world like that, or no, where you didn't have to play politics. Politics has always existed, which is the exact same reason why those who were able to play politics built the type of alliances needed, dominated other people who couldn't do that or didn't do that. So when it comes to these conversations about masculinity, who's a pussy, who's this, that, and the third, a lot of these guys that speak on it don't have any real power. They may have influence, but the people that matter, that may be overweight, diabolically ugly niggas, can fuck their wives and their lives. So you tell me what position you'd rather be in: the 6'6" super jack Arnold Schwarzenegger nigga, or the person that sits in Congress that goes, I think I'm going to do this to this entire district, or do this into this entire state, or do this, and guess what? They still get caught up with scandals about smashing women.
You're talking about power. You're not talking about personality.
What is he talking about?
He's talking about personality.
Oh, well, personality-wise, I don't know how somebody gets in power and not have a personality for that said power.
You can be put there. Nepotism. Influence. You're weak, so you're easy to be controlled. So I'm gonna put you there because I know I can manipulate you. I know I can buy you.
And even still,
you're weak mentally. I can give you 100,000 some bitches, and you gonna do what I need you to do.
Wait, so he'd be more powerful than a person with not 100,000 and no bitches.
Say Andrew Tate became a bajillionaire. He becomes in a position where he can influence these weak-minded men that are quote unquote in positions of power to influence them to do what he wants them to do. So I'm saying that's what I think he's addressing is that they're weak-willed, weak-minded, and they're being. I don't know what we've gotten 20 seconds into the video. We don't know where the fuck he's going with it. We gotta watch more of it. But that's where I'm going with it in my brain. And you going it that way with your brain, which is cool. That's why it's two of us. We're gonna figure this out.
Gotcha.
I need to get some agua.
Yeah, let's see.
Masculinity, corporate leaders, social status hierarchies, then why is it more diligent, more intelligent, more ruthless, etc., than those at the bottom? Well, women tend to mate and date hypergamously. That is, they tend to mate and date up status hierarchies. By the same token, we know how difficult it is to ascend those same hierarchies, which implies that those at the top must be more competent, more diligent, more intelligent, more ruthless, etc., than those at the bottom. However, all this kind of begs a question. Namely, if alpha men are supposed to be at the top of social status hierarchies, then why is it that so many of our corporate leaders and cultural icons and elected politicians are such weak fucking dorks?
Okay.
Like, why don't we see alpha chads running the world? While we've seen a shift toward traditional masculinity as a positive in the most recent election cycle, why is it that so many leaders around the world seem to be beta males? Like, that shouldn't be possible, right? In fact, on the surface, it seems to be a flaw in our model. Shouldn't the guys at the top, no matter how they present themselves, be the alphas by definition? What is going on? It's a very interesting question. In today's episode, I'm going to offer a possible explanation for this phenomenon. To begin with, it's important to understand that the current situation is not the end state. This is not how things are supposed to look at the end of the game. What we're currently experiencing is an intermediary stage in a social movement that may or may not reach its conclusion depending on current and future events. Beta males in positions of power is not the desired end goal. It is merely a necessary step in the direction of that goal. The best analogy I've been able to come up with to explain what is going on comes from the TV show Survivor. Now, I'm not a Survivor superfan, but I'm familiar with the premise, and I find the program absolutely fascinating from a social psychology perspective. Winning the game depends on correctly adapting a fluctuating system of strategies in a constantly changing social milieu. It's not enough to be the smartest or the strongest or even the most well-liked. It's realpolitik with real people. They've produced nearly 50 seasons of the show already, so even if you've never seen it, you're likely familiar with the premise. In any case, in one of its nearly 50 seasons, Survivor conducted a gender-based experiment and pitted men against women.
So I think we've seen this and heard this numerous times. It's run-of-the-mill, red pill menace fiction, but who knows? He could be different, like the rest of them. Let's find out.
Though the team started out in equal numbers, only women made it to the end game. All the men had been eliminated. And this outcome is particularly surprising given how the game began. At the beginning of the competition, when the men and women...
They don't mention that part in the Manosphere talking point.
Yeah, they don't mention the women winning, or all the men got voted out. So let's see where he goes with it.
And were segregated, the women didn't win a single contest. Actually, no, it's not fair to say they didn't win. They didn't even come close to winning. It was a bloodbath. The men were destroying the women on every single challenge the game presented. Not only that, but the villages, like the way the two teams were living, were completely different. The men had formed a cooperative system. They constructed shelters, marshaled fire, and were eating game. They were living fairly comfortably, given the rather primitive environment they found themselves in. On the other hand, the women were basically huddling.
All right, I think we got Black Dawn. What's good?
How you doing? How you guys doing this morning?
We good.
Man, you didn't just wake up. Stop talking like that.
I did just wake up, actually. I still got my motherfucking PJs. Bro, I still got my PJs on and everything, bro.
Oh my day. We looking old.
I am old.
Bro, you my age.
You see what I'm saying?
Bruh.
Sway, I hate to tell you.
This is what
I hate to tell you.
I remember you being in the gym, Don. You're not on these trends and this and the
Nah.
Articuno and the
that's that weird shit.
Vectron and all this other weird stuff.
Nah, that's that crazy shit. But nah, this is what happens when you get a shit ton of responsibility within 1 or 2 years time. You kind of
exactly, bro.
Yeah,
are you officially married?
I hold on.
I got you.
Yeah, I'll type it in the private chat.
Yeah. So, because again, like life moves on, right? So, I know for a while you was vacationing and whatnot, so you weren't even near.
Yeah, it's not just like vacationing; it's also like doing like client work, and then like so I had like a promotion, it's like more senior level shit. So now you have to like take care of like the youngins and it's yeah, it's a lot of stuff. But
right,
yeah, more chill now. So what y'all talking about today?
So we kind of moved into we moved from the first thing, which is the young kids basically using Tren, Anavar, any anabolic steroid to increase their looks aesthetically.
Oh, yeah.
And
okay, so
yeah,
because I go to the gym like frequently, and like I actually talked to one of like a young kid that like was taking like a lot of these like designer drugs and all this other shit. So the mentality is like, hey, you know what I mean? Like I kind of want it's at any cost or any means necessary. It's like I kind of want it's more of like for clout, if anything, like because I always see him bring like the camera setup. It's just like, look, man, I'd rather have 20 good years where I could do whatever I want and fuck whoever I want and get all this money and sponsored advertisements and blah blah blah, all that shit, than have 60 good years being a nobody and a lame or something like that. That was kind of the gist of what I was told. And I'm like, okay, well, neither is gonna happen because nobody's gonna know who the fuck you are still. So it's just whatever you say, bro. But yeah, that's kind of the reason. That's the like if the people I talk to, because I go to like a commercial gym and a powerlifting gym. So the people at the powerlifting gym, that's kind of what I get. And the people at the commercial gym, they're just kind of just like experimenting, you know, young niggas just being reckless and just, you know, trying to have fun and just see how far they can push it.
I really think this is a testament to their dads, bro. Either they got one or they didn't do their job.
They got what?
I think this is a testament to their fathers. I would love to meet who their fathers are and see if they in their life. Like I've always said, either you ain't got no dad or he ain't do his job. One of the two. Because these niggas in this red pill space or old Manosphere space or black Manosphere space, whatever, swear up and down that, you know, the father is the biggest influence to your child's success. And this type of mental just screw loose, I would love to know if they have a dad or what type of man he is in their life. Because you talking about good years. He how old is he? 20? He should have been dead then.
Yeah. Do you think like some of the fathers is like giving it to them? Do you think that's a possibility?
Giving it to him?
Or, yeah, giving them the drugs.
Giving them the drugs?
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking like that. I was thinking like they just ain't a great influence in general. Like you're not nothing to look up to. So your kid is now going off on his own to do whatever he feels is necessary to look up to find influence in. Because that's generally what they're going to, you know, if they don't get it from the house where they can subscribe to that, they're going to go find it from somewhere else. I've always said that before. Like most people move or go do their own thing or leave super far because they don't subscribe to the team that they were born into. They don't subscribe to the family they were born into, so they either go become a free agent to go get signed to a new team or a new family, or they make their own. So I think that's what a lot of people issues is, and these kids is just getting so heavily influenced and emotionally attached to YouTube and all these other influencers, I think it's because their parents ain't nothing to look up to or to be influenced by, or just not doing a good job in influencing them.
Yeah, gymflation, like especially the social media thing you brought up, like gymflation is almost a definite like real thing. I was watching this other video like quite some time ago. They were comparing like movie stars and what was considered really like in shape, like really jacked compared to what it looks like now. And it's very obvious there's been like some like inflation or some just high like exaggeration or some like hyperbolic fixation on being massive or something like that. Like for example, I'm pretty sure you guys watched like the first Spider-Man movie. Actually, I actually watched it last night with my girl. Yeah. So when he like takes his glasses off for the first time or whatever, he you know, when he got bit and he fell asleep, he woke up. That was considered like jack or really in shape, right? So by today's standards, you'd just be like, you'd be weak. You'd be like you'd be like a straw or a regular or whatever.
Like that would be considered beginner progress.
Yeah, you did like 8. Yeah, you did 8 sets of goofing around. Like, why are we? what are you doing in the gym? Like, that's how much heat that dude would get. Which is actually crazy. And the worst part is, I think people are starting to just gradually accept. Like, it used to be like people would lie about like their physiques. Like, it'd be just, oh, I'm totally natural. We would just be like, all right, bro. Like, why? We're not retarded.
That's what I find crazy too, Don. Where you going with it? These niggas snitching on themselves. They out here making YouTube channels telling how much, you know, the fact that he knows the exact, like, I think, who was it, clavicular? I don't know. Is that his name? Am I saying it right?
Yeah, clavicular.
He said like 6 different things he was taking, and he knew the exact milligrams he was taking of all of them. And I'm like, how the fuck do you know all? I mean, granted, I guess you're not trying to die really, but it's like you just know all these different little doses you need to take, you know. And these kids, and they're just telling you, like I said, they're not even hiding. They're not, you know, they're telling everyone. I think, like you're saying, they're trying to influence everyone. Like, okay, I'm not going to tell them to take it, but hey, this is what I'm taking. If you want to do it yourself, I'm doing this amount and this amount and this amount and this amount. And they just out here snitching, thinking that they becoming influencers. Nah, that's weird.
I think to some degree it's like an offshoot of like red pillism. I'm not going to put the whole jacket on them because I don't think that's what red pills actually do, but it is some offshoot of it because there's this hyperfixation on like how you look. Like, you gotta have that body, you gotta have that face, you gotta have that everything to such degree. That's just taken to like a massive extreme.
I feel like it was a violation too. Like it was damn near borderline illegal to be known as a roid user, even in any sports, gym, any world. Like if you're known, and while you were competing, you pretty much become denounced in all credibility.
That used to be the end of your career, right? But now like these sponsorships are like for example, like Gymshark and LA, what's it called? LA something.
Like fitness?
No. It's like it's another thing. I can't remember the name of it, but like it's another like famous
like a brand.
Yeah, like a brand, like influencer brands, stuff like that.
Gymshark, and then there's
what's that?
Gorilla Mindset. There's a couple different ones, but I know what you're saying.
Yeah. I have to look it up real quick because I know. Young LA, right, or Young Law, whatever it's called, right?
Yeah.
Like it's very clearly like a lot of their influencers are like taking like drugs, but the fact that you can like not only you get clout off it, you can now monetize it to such a degree to where it's like, hey, not only I get to look good, but I get to get a lot of money too, and I won't lose any respect or anything like that. It's just it's like a perpetuating cycle. So that's kind of how it is. Now on to I heard a little bit of what this guy was saying. Maybe I'm off, so you guys tell me. Do you think that's like a beta thing to do, I guess, per se? Like doing like the cycles?
Wait, no. So the he's talking about taking cycles of steroids. They call them cycles.
They call them cycles.
Yeah. Yeah,
I don't.
All the men that I saw before and after, they looked like they were weak, got no pussy, soft ass niggas that had no confidence about themselves, and they found it out. and they think that getting big and swole or looking a certain type of way with your body gives them confidence. You know, accomplishments leads to confidence. You know, competency equals competence. Competency equals compensation. You know, they think that this is somehow giving them that because they never had it on their own. Yeah, they were definitely the betas.
Yeah.
What type of nigga is? Well, granted, I'll say this. Rampage, he was doing it and he didn't necessarily know he was doing it, but he did do it when he was fighting. So there are men that you would deem as an alpha, quote unquote, that still do it. So
it's hard. Yeah,
I mean,
that's which is why it's hard to categorize it as beta. I don't think it's beta. I just think
also,
that
yeah, because that's very high. It's very high risk taking, right?
Yeah, but the word beta, like I think the way we try to classify things just doesn't make sense anymore. Like some of these things aren't alpha or beta. It's just mental illness. It's body dysmorphia. It's actual issues with people that's not being addressed, right? And if you say mental issues exist, then they'll say that's beta because just get over it, like depression or anything else. Like there's so many red pill niggas about I don't believe in depression. Like, okay, yeah. Like I don't know if you've seen that clip.
What's the Andrew Tate. Oh,
and he's like, yeah, I don't believe in depression. And then the kid that said I don't believe in depression, his brother killed himself.
Jesus fucking Christ.
So it's like, wait, the irony behind you not believing depression, but depression directly being in your life affecting your sibling who's now dead. Something's not clicking here, and it just don't make sense.
It's fucking wild. So the only reason why I brought up like the beta thing is it's like because the thing is like when I first started lifting weights like a couple of years ago, like like after I got a better body, whatever, I did have more confidence, right? So does that make me beta because I wanted to do it? Like I don't know about that, but like I think it's just like who they were before they took like all those cycles and what pushed them to that point is what I'm necessarily like want to deep down and like pry into, right? Were you scared? Were you just looking for like quick results just to get quick gains? Or were you really just like, you just wasn't really in the right headspace or whatever, and all these social media influences kind of made you get there, right? And if that's the case, then are you actually mentally ill? Or are you just an idiot? You just someone who's easily influenced, you know?
So I think it's a mix of both. I get what you're saying, and I think that honestly, like you're saying, there's a level of influence that people have. So I don't want to get rid of the culpability of them making a decision to do steroids. But then on the other end, like people like Clavicular that have who created this idea of Looksmaxxing and the ideology of, you know.
Well, to correct, Looksmaxxing existed, predated far long before Clavicular.
But that's like saying it's like Kevin Samuels, my nigga. Like this red pill Manosphere, whatever, has been on YouTube for a minute, but did anybody really know?
He popularized it. Yeah.
It's like I didn't know I still don't even necessarily know what it is. I feel like I'm getting mixed definitions. Like Don, this nigga said he had milk come out of his.
Milk come out his what?
His nipples, bro. This dude said.
You muted yourself, Sway.
I think his microphone man unplugged. But one of the guys' side effects was saying like he was having mood swings like a woman on her period.
Because so what happens when you take like that testosterone?
The hormones,
it messes up your hormones level, and now because you cannot naturally produce testosterone because you fed your body so much of that shit, it starts to go down, and then your estrogen level starts to peak up, right? And then now you start to generate milk out of your nipples because your body thinks you're a girl.
So it's like, bro, under no circumstance is this. And then I don't think he stopped. That's the thing. I don't think that was enough for him to stop.
That's fucking crazy. It's
How
just
many
like,
niggas gonna have milk come out their nipples before this becomes dead, like a dead thing? Like,
I don't know, because it's also profitable right now, like the peptide industry and all that shit. Like it's where the FDA is not going to officially approve it for obvious fucking reasons.
We don't care about our kids.
We care about
We don't give a shit about these kids. We don't care. Like the whole old Bernie Mac fuck them kids. That has been like a cultural United States reference. It's just this is a hallmark of our country. Of fuck them kids. Like we don't give a shit about the next generation and the next generation, the next generation ever, bro. Damn, we called you bald. That's tough.
Bro, I'm getting there. That ass. I got like a year or two left. And then
you fortunate you got the long beard, so you be all right. And
Yeah.
you go to the gym, so it'll
I could cope.
You just be Anton Jr.
Said I could cope. No way. Why did you say that?
Look, bro, like I've grown to love my hair. Like I used to get roasted at school for having like these little BDBs, but then I've grown to like accept it and learn it. And now just when I finally grow to the point where I can accept it, now I'm gonna lose it. It's gone. It's going away.
No.
It makes you feel it, but I'm about to cut my hair off. I'm not gonna cut like bald, but I'm not gonna have this damn ponytail anymore.
Yeah, but it's optional for you. I got no choice. Okay, can't keep that shit. All right. I saw like my older brother, and I was like, "Oh god damn, this nigga is holding on to dear life. This shit's for to go behind his ears. What is he doing?" I was like, "Bro, it's just go bald, bro. I'll join you in a few years, bro. I'll see you there." But as far as like F these kids mentality, I think that's true on like multiple different levels, not just physical, but that's for another stream. But I just find it very hard to believe that your kid 1 year is looking like a regular like 18-year-old kid, and all of a sudden he looks like a 35-year-old horse, and no one's saying nothing. Like,
anything.
It's fucking crazy.
He's been in the gym. His puberty kicked in. You know, kids these days they be jumping out the gym.
And then there's also a thing that's somewhat unrelated, but there's also like people who lie about their transformations too. Like they'd be like, "Oh yeah, I did this in 1 year." Like, no, you didn't. This shit took you like 5, like or 7. You could kind of tell. So one of the telltale signs of like PED usage that I've seen is like abnormally like large side delts, like your shoulders, where they're abnormally large, which makes no sense in comparison to the rest of your arms. Another common thing that I saw is like having like small, weak spaghetti legs, but then your upper body, it looks like completely like, jacked, which makes no sense because some workouts are like compound workouts. Like for example, like deadlifting is like a full body workout. So it's very hard to believe that you did all that shit. Yeah, your legs
the hamstrings didn't grow at all, but your entire back is built like a upside down pizza. Like that, something's not adding up.
Yeah, like you look like an upside down Christmas tree. Like you just built like So, I don't know. I just think it's crazy. Like these, when they get the level of risk tolerance nowadays, especially with this type of shit, is I don't know. You might be right.
There was one kid in my school that was doing steroids. His excuse was that he didn't have enough when he was going through puberty, so the doctors gave him some. But yeah, he was built like a V2.
It's fucking stupid. Like, because me growing up, like, yeah, I was always like the smallest dude. I'm still the smallest dude in the room but like, like you just be consistent and just wait until you get to like your 20s. That's when your really shit starts kicking in. But it's just the level of impatience. Like, I need the strength now. I need the body now. It's crazy. So
yeah, but it kind of go back to what you were saying. It's for clout. Like not a lot, but some of the guys' explanation behind them doing that was because of social media. Like and them trying to garner an audience and maintain that.
You know what's sad though? Real quick, I'm sorry, but like
good.
When they take these like cycles or whatever, a lot of these niggas are still weak. Like
true.
I do this one guy. So I saw it from like a Jubilee video. I think it was like I forgot the name of it. It was like Fit versus Fat or something like that, or maybe it was
it had Greg Doucette and then some other guys.
Yeah. And then like one of the guys, like his max like bench press was like 320 after going like 5 years of like usage. I'm like, I'm 5 years like completely natural, don't tailor shit, and mine's like 315. Bro, my guy, you're pathetic. Like maybe his workout regime wasn't good. Maybe I don't know what it is, but even when they do take it, they still are weak. They look good. They look like they're physical. Maybe not on the inside because it's just fucking deteriorating, but like on the outside, yeah. So it's
Yeah, I mean,
that's just another reason not to do it. Yeah.
The other thing is like, I don't want to say. Well, I guess the proper word is like endurance. Like your muscle endurance, the density, like it might look size wise, but the density of it is very weak. Like you were saying, like I've seen the arm wrestler champion. He's like 40 now, but he's still that guy. And he was going against like a bodybuilder who had bigger arms. And I think he was younger than him. And he was like, bet. And this was sitting there on him, just sitting there because his arms are it's the muscles are more dense, so it's not as wide, but it's stronger. So I think a lot of guys, like you were saying, they're going for size, they're not going for actual strength.
Yeah, that's I don't know. I'd rather have like, you know who Anatoly is?
Yeah,
No.
A Russian.
He's
Yeah.
the,
Is that the dude that we saw earlier with the?
No,
Anatoly?
Anatoly dresses up like a janitor. Like, and
Oh,
you can't tell from his,
yeah.
You can't tell from his. He's got a sleeper build where basically you can't tell that he's a fucking monster, but then he moves your weight with 450 pounds on it as if it's 225, and everybody's like, "What the fuck is happening?"
That's the build that I feel like most people should be chasing, right? Because like I did like the bulking thing for like a while. And that shit feels terrible. Like breathing all the time when you're talking, like like the excessive breathing. You can't walk up 2 flights of stairs, or else you're about to catch a heart attack. Or you need
People don't watch enough Dragon Ball Z, man. They didn't realize when Goku was trying to get stronger, thing he was power up, he got too big. He became slow, became weak. You want him? He's like, man, I gotta condense this, man.
Yeah,
being that big don't make no sense if you can't do anything with it. It's like niggas being tall for nothing. Can't even dunk a basketball. You 6'5". What the fuck? You 6'6" and you can't dunk a basketball, my nigga. You 250 pounds. You can't lift 250 pounds, my nigga. What the fuck is going on? You can't do 10 push-ups. That's not a good 250. That's not a good 250. But nah, this video, I just thought it was funny because I didn't actually watch the whole thing, but I did hear that one twist of like the women winning. So I was like, all right, let me.
Yeah, I did not hear that. Oh, I did not know that. They don't. Because nobody talks about that part.
They would say nobody talks about when they use the Bear Grylls or the Survivor or whatever. No one talks. They always use it like the men just dominated, and you assume that they won the competition based on how it started. But I think it might show a little bit more to what actually happened. Now, see what I'm saying? We only get half of the truth with the Manosphere. That's why we got to search for the other half, man. These niggas be lying.
What's the video? Give me like a quick rundown. My bad.
Rise of the Beta. Why men today are so feminine.
So he's giving his hypothesis on that, right? And the beginning standpoint is, you know, if women are hypergamous and are looking for men that are supposed to be alphas, why is it that the people in power look like loser dweebs, right? They're not the most in shape. They're not the tallest, handsomest, whatever they call it, whatever it is. So he's going to give his explanation as to why. So far, he's using the Survivor show to explain something.
What's the governor of New York, Mandani or whatever his name is?
Yeah.
Mandani.
Mayor.
He's like, why do they look like that dude and not like Jason Momoa?
So I guess he's going to give his explanation to it.
Fire, and we're eating game. It was a bloodbath. The men were destroying the women on every single challenge the game presented. Not only that, but the villages, like the way the two teams were living, were completely different. The men had formed a cooperative system. They constructed shelters, marshaled fire, and were eating game. They were living fairly comfortably, given the rather primitive environment they found themselves in. On the other hand, the women were basically huddling under rocks, wet and cold. They didn't have the skills or the systems to construct even a tenth of the men's infrastructure. And of course, the better the relative conditions, the easier it was for the men to maintain their competitive advantage. So given all this, how did the men go from being absolutely dominant to being voted out of the game? How did the women pull off this coup? It's an interesting question. Pause the episode now and see if you can figure it out. All right.
You guys figured it out. You guys figured it out yet? Okay.
So this is basically how it went down. It soon became obvious to the women that they were not going to be able to win in a head-to-head competition against the men. And every time the women lost, another one of their numbers was voted out of the game. They understood that their days were numbered and that they would have to try to undermine the men in some other way. So what the women did was sow dissension among the men. The women observed that as powerful and skillful as the men were, this power and skill was not distributed evenly across the group. A pecking order had organically emerged, and the most competent and accomplished had risen to the top. These men, whom we could call the alphas, were responsible for a disproportionate majority of the team's success. Now, awareness of this fact was not lost on the men. However, it didn't really seem to bother any of them. They were teammates and aligned toward a common goal. It was okay that some men were higher status than others because there was still a place for every man in the economy of that society. It was kind of like a high-functioning sports team. The whole team could acknowledge their best players as their captains and yet not impede their ability to work together successfully. In fact, this kind of hierarchy probably makes a team's success more likely as the team has functionally endowed certain individuals with executive functioning, which can expedite decision-making and cooperation. That said, the women were able to create dissension in the ranks by sowing doubt among the lower status men. They found some pretext or other to corner the lower status men and basically said, look, we get it. You won. We're screwed. And our time here is limited. We're not going to win. But before you start celebrating, you've got to consider.
What do you think? What do you think they got to consider?
Pussy.
Nope. Wrong answer. Cheeky.
Consider what? What are you asking?
The women are now manipulating the weak men, and they're saying that's cool. Once we gone, what do they have to consider once the women are gone?
Oh, the other men.
I don't know. You tell us.
Damn.
No, you're right. The other men. That's the funny part. Because, but it just, this is the shit that don't make sense to me in this story because it makes me think these niggas are slow. If you're going to have to vote off people regardless, why would you put yourself in the same predicament that you had the women in where y'all was voting them off left and right? Then now you stop voting them off, you make them the majority, and then you get voted off. And then now they're going to do what you were going to do, and they're going to vote each other off amongst themselves. Or is it a collective thing? Because that's what I'm saying. He's making it sound like, well, the women won. Then that's a collective. It's not a woman won. It's the women won. And so if it's a men versus women, why not just vote them all off if that's the point of the show? How is that an influence on you if it's the idea that the women versus men, not a man is supposed to win? So a little bit of the information that I'm not really sure because I didn't see the show, but I think this is the type of stuff that, I don't know, kind of throws me off based on what I know on the story. I don't know. What do y'all think?
Yeah. That is weird. It's super weird. Then why, like you said, why would they be worried about the other men attacking? What, friendly fire?
Right. If the goal of the show is to win, how do you get manipulated into losing?
What the fuck?
So I don't know. I don't know. I haven't seen that episode because there is a newer version of it.
Are we sure it wasn't pussy? Because that makes way more sense. It's gonna be a sausage fest. You need one woman on the island, at least one.
I don't know. I'd have to watch the show and get the better context, because what Sway is saying makes sense. And if it's a man versus woman, and the goal is for men, either women or men, to win, I don't think men are that stupid to be manipulated to the entire group losing. So something isn't adding up, but maybe that's not his point.
Is he going to play the video? Maybe he'll tell us something different.
As soon as we're gone, who do you think is going to be next? Huh? Do you think you're going to beat out those alphas? As soon as we're gone, you're next on the chopping block. We can't beat those guys, but let's be honest, neither can you. So let's form an alliance against the alphas for our own mutual self-preservation. Now, on some level, this was a rational argument. However, the women also spiced this offer with a couple of emotional tidbits. First, they played on the beta male's pity by damseling. They made an uncommon show of their misery and helplessness in order to evoke a helping response from these men, which they eventually succeeded in doing. Before too long, these betas were sharing food and fire with the women, their competition. So by plucking on male heartstrings, the women were able to create a fifth column inside of the men's village in order to secure instrumental support, something that the alphas would be less likely to do. Second, the women lightly flirted with the betas and suggested the possibility of relationship further down the road.
I have got to see this.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew it was pussy. I knew it. I knew that shit, but now it started to make more sense.
Okay, yeah, because now Black Dawn, I'm like, I don't know. Like, I didn't see the show. I don't have the context of it. I've got to see the show now to figure out what he's talking about, because what it sounds like is ridiculous.
Pussy's a hell of a drug.
I'm a maybe, you know what, Sway, that may be next week. We may just watch the show on stream. All right, we can't get demonetized because we're not monetized. We can't get, so nothing will happen. I think we should just watch the show, because there's no way it's men versus women, and that like
I want to say it's a season though.
It's a season. I don't think it's not an episode.
Because they're voting people out.
Oh man, this happens over episodes, and
I think it's a season. Yeah.
All right, let me see. I'll go watch it myself too, because I'm curious to see how that played out.
Like, once the alphas had been removed, the women indicated that they would be able to move into the village to take their place. And wouldn't that be more pleasant company than a bunch of sweaty dudes? So, through a combination of fear, pity, and desire, the women were able to persuade a group of lower status males to betray their higher status teammates, initially through clandestine sabotage and bad faith, and eventually through open revolt. However, by this time, the women and the betas together comprised a majority bloc, which was able to get rid of the threatening higher status men. And once all the alphas were gone, guess what happened? The remaining women broke their alliance with the betas and voted every single one of them out of the game. After all, they were no longer useful. So the outcome the betas feared, the outcome that motivated them to betray their teammates, was precisely the outcome that came to pass as a result of their betrayal. And that's how the women were able to beat out the men and win the game. They could not succeed in direct competition. They were only able to survive by turning the lower status men against the higher status men through the manipulation of fear, pity, and desire. Pretty clever, huh?
So is he, let me tell you where I think this is going to go. I think he's going to say that women having rights and being able to do the shit they do today is the same reason why, instead of just saying there are men that disagree with the ideology of traditional or red pill or manosphere men, which is take these hoes' rights away and make sure they get pregnant and can't abort them. That's what I think is going to happen. He's going to tie this into all of this, is what I think is about to happen.
That's one hell of a
Let's see. Let's see. I'm telling you, bro. I think it's going to be, because of what let's see. I could be wrong, but let's see.
If you're interested in taking your understanding to the next level, I would encourage you to check out the Captain's Quarters, my members-only self-improvement community.
I never trust niggas that sell shit.
It's his video. I think we need to let him
So,
give his ad,
this is my best...
No?
What up?
I said it's his video. We gotta let him give off his ad, no?
No.
Fuck no. What are you talking about?
We gotta let him get off his ad, man.
We only show
That's
ads
fine.
we can verify. All right. All like
Yeah,
she
like,
said,
I'm
all
not-
ads scams.
I am not. I don't know this man. I don't know what he's supposed to be putting out there. I didn't do it myself. Why would I advertise that? No, I have no idea about this nigga.
Explanation as to why there are so many beta males in positions of power and authority today. It's a stage in the process. For the last few decades, we've collectively been voting the alpha males out.
What I tell you.
And this has really only been possible because women have been able to forge an alliance with lower status men. And like the TV show, this has largely been done through the manipulation of emotion, especially through the concepts of maleness and masculinity. Across the same timeline, all of the traits associated with traditional masculinity, the toughness, the strength, the stoicism, etc., have been rebranded as toxic. Impressionable young people who are typically still sorting out who they are and who rely heavily on external approval to navigate this process have been raised with a notion of what makes a man good that has almost entirely been
He don't get no women.
constructed by women.
You said what now?
He don't get no women.
I don't know. I don't know.
You know why I say that, bro?
Yeah, why? What's your thoughts on it?
Because niggas that get women don't care what women think.
What?
They just do what they just do whatever they like. The idea that he's saying these are deemed as toxic, like these type of traits of being strong, stoic, and blah 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 blah. The men that exhibit those traits get women. So why would they care what you think about them outwardly saying that they're toxic if these traits are what's allowing me to get the outcomes that I want?
Okay, I don't think that's what he was saying. I thought he was saying.
No, I'm saying that about him. Because he's what do you mean? You're saying you don't think that men are becoming less of this because these traits are deemed as toxic? You don't think that's what he's saying?
No, I think what he's saying is because those traits are considered toxic, right? And I would disagree with that as well. I don't think people are saying toxic masculinity within itself is toxic, because I thought that that's what they were saying at one point until I looked and read into what is it? What do they mean by this? Because initially, especially if you was involved or are involved with red pill manosphere, they're going to tell you the message that is being spread is masculinity is toxic, but that's not necessarily the case. When you start talking to the people who say toxic masculinity and they actually have a brain, not just like some stupid person, they're saying that there are aspects of masculinity that we portray today that is detrimental to not only men but also women, or not only women but also men themselves. Right?
Yeah, I'm addressing.
Okay,
I am more so addressing what he's saying that he's deeming as toxic, not because if we go down that rabbit hole, we'll end up just agreeing. Yeah, like I'd also disagree with the narrative of what most people deem if they are saying that stoicism and strength and all that is toxic masculinity, then I would disagree. If you're talking about a man not being able to regulate his emotions and beating his kids to death or something like that's that's toxic masculinity. That's a little too much there, buddy. You sit your ass in the chair and let's get you up out of here. Let's get you up out of here. Let's get you up in the chair and get you up out of here if you want that. But not, I just think from this guy's perspective, if he agrees with that narrative himself, then
I don't think he does.
He get no booty.
Yeah, I don't think.
Explaining it.
Yeah, I think he's just explaining, given the position. Based on everything he's just said and on the things that I think he's going to say, he doesn't agree with that, right? I think he's just giving an explanation as to why these things have become the way they have. But let's see.
You can see this most clearly in the shaming language that women employ. A real man is always defined via his relationship with women, never to himself. And this, in turn, has created generations of weak, misguided men who have gotten this way by trying to rise to the conception of manhood that has been formulated by women. And it is likely that this conception that women, and let me ask you a question. Is it likely that this conception that women have created is exclusively or even primarily in the best interests of the men involved? Just put the shoe on the other foot. Ask women whether they believe that traditional models of femininity, which were largely defined by men, exclusively or even primarily serve the best interests of women. How do you think they would respond? But we're to believe that women are so altruistically blind to self that the definitions of masculinity and of ideal male behavior that they promote have nothing to do with their own agendas? In any case, women have succeeded in seducing a subset of men into betraying their brothers. That is, to align with their conceptualization that traditional masculinity.
I told you. I told you. I called it. This is like, bro, I knew this was coming, right? Let's just finish the video, but I knew this shit was coming. It's going to lead into regressive shit for a group of women, and then he's going to blame men that agree with that ideology and go, "Dad, you're the reason." I'm telling you, it's the same shit. Like, none of this stuff is new. The ideology is stale as fuck and super unintelligent. Like, fucking hell. It's like Andrew Wilson talking about forced doctrine, but having a hard time opening an olive jar. Nigga, under no circumstance does the word force come out of your fucking mouth, because at any point in time, you can get decked in your shit by fucking Black Don, who's 5'6". You white fuck. So what are you talking about?
I don't know who, Cheeky. You starting to go off the deep. You throwing shots at Don now too. He ain't doing nothing. He just sitting there.
Yeah, I'm just chilling. God damn.
I'm not
Let me be small in peace.
Was that a compliment or was that a shot? I couldn't tell.
What it's the fact that Black Don stature would be shit on by these people that like to say forced doctrine and everything, but they're not the people that would ever be able to implement it. It's going to be people like Black Don or fucking you or somebody who's stronger than them, and they want to talk about forced doctrine. How can you speak on some shit you're not even a part of? Open olive jars within 2 seconds without a fucking jar or without a napkin or some shit, and then talk about forced doctrine. Beat up Andrew Tate or the nigga you wanted to fight on stage before you start talking about shit that don't even apply to you. This shit don't make no sense to me.
He's like a smooth talking, like fresh and fit. Like, that's all it's kind of all I'm hearing right now.
It's, bro, but let's just see what he's got to say.
Dumb as those guys. I ain't gonna
Oh, for sure. But when it comes to like the rhetoric, like he just
It's the same rhetoric. It's the same shit.
articulates it. He just articulates it like more.
Only reason I can tolerate Andrew Moore is because he will lose a battle to win the war much more often. He will concede certain points because it don't really matter in the grand scheme of it. Like, some people get harped on certain points and they'll try to go down a rabbit hole. Like, was it Brian? Is that his name on the whatever? I hate how he argues, bro. He will argue about the dumbest shit that just don't fucking matter. Like, this one chick, she was like, well, that was a long time ago, so it just don't matter. And so he just started bringing, like, well, does slavery don't matter? Does World War II don't matter? I'm like, what the fuck type of, like, that shit frustrated the fuck out of me.
New
So,
question.
anyway.
Real quick, but there was one thing he had a debate with another. He's not a red pill. He was like a conservative person, and it really made me question this dude's character. Right? He was talking about, like, in World War II, right? Like, hey, we have to go to war for this such a reason, right? And you're probably gonna die, but you have to just make that sacrifice because that's just men go to war, men fight and die. You just have to do it. And then he was like, "Fuck no, I'm not doing that shit. That's that sucker shit." And I'm just like, see now, and when people call you a beta or a weak, and you can't complain when you're not about to go to the mattresses over something that's important. Like,
bro, come on.
Who said it's sucker shit?
It was Brian, the whatever guy you were talking about, the host of the, yeah. He said that was like sucker shit. I was like, Jeez. But yeah, but anyways, yeah.
I think the whole getting drafted thing is a little. I don't even want to go down that rabbit hole trying to really have it because I don't fully agree with it either. I will fight to die for the things that I need to protect and for this country if it was for this country. But if you sending me over there for your benefit as a part of big pharma or big corporate America, and you're trying to, all some other weird shit, we don't need to go there. It's kind of like with Iraq and all that for the oil and the war on terror and blah 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 bullshit. Like, didn't need to go there, but we did. Similar situation. I feel like now it's like, do we need to go there, or are you just doing this for the small minority group of people's best interest, or is this for everybody's best interest? If it's not for most majority of people's best interest, I wouldn't agree to being drafted.
Yeah. I think World War II, though, I think everyone would agree that, yeah.
That's different. Yeah, I mean,
what you can do about that? Like,
and we came in late, mind you. Everybody else was getting fucked up for years before we pulled up. We pulled in late, try to save niggas. Granted, was it the smartest thing because we didn't have as much terrain to work on? Maybe not. But did we do what we needed to do? Yeah. So at the grand scheme of it, but I'm just saying, like, I think this current situation with, if he said what Brian was responding to, the context was now and not necessarily like World War II, then I would somewhat agree with him. Like, nah, that's bullshit. I'm not necessarily going right now. If it was World War II, sure. This is stupid. Good thing I'm getting old, though. I ain't gotta think about it.
At this point, I guess, huh?
Against which they might not be able to successfully compete is toxic and misogynistic in exchange for female approval. A need that is so deeply instilled in so many men that in many cases, it is indistinguishable from their own self-worth. This alignment not only produces fewer alpha males with each subsequent generation, but it also creates a powerful voting bloc capable of removing the remaining alphas from positions of authority.
What did I tell you? It's all lining up.
Using ideologically backed policy initiatives as well. And why is this occurring? Because just like on Survivor, the modern woman is in competition with the modern man. Gone are the days of complementarity in which men and women functionally moved in separate orbits. The modern woman is in her masculine, and she has chosen, or has been forced, or has been incentivized, depending on your perspective, to enter into historically male social domains and carve out a space there. They want money and power and status and recognition. And to get those things, they have to beat out the men who also want those things. The issue is that, just like on Survivor, the alpha males are extremely difficult to beat in direct competition. Like, even the other men couldn't beat them.
Cheeky. I truly think he got this shit backwards, bro. I don't think it's the women that influence the niggas. I think it's the weak niggas that influence the women. I think it's a lot of weak fathers that either weren't there or was there and telling them to go be strong and independent, or they put them in an environment to force them to be strong and independent. And then everything else was around them was supporting that idea. And these weak ass niggas supported that idea because it took responsibility off their plate. They didn't have to think about it so much. They didn't have to protect so much. They had to pay for so much. They didn't have to be responsible for so much. So they co-signed this shit. I think it was weak niggas that pushed this. I don't think it was women.
Dude, I think this is so much bigger than men and women. Like,
I'm just saying in terms of, oh, go ahead, my fault.
No, I'm just saying, like, just on an economic level, we are not able to sustain these things on individual aspects. Like, there's been so many different policies implemented. And if you look at who's been implemented, and whether it be Democrat or Republican, these things cause a overall increase in prices for things that are simple. Right? If you are living in a major city, right, because most people have to or do just by nature of the jobs that are available. Like, for example, if you're in tech, you're more likely living in a major city. It's unlikely you're in rural Ohio working
I'm not worried about two people working though, because I think, in my opinion, in most of human history, two people have worked to contribute to a house, even if it necessarily wasn't financial. When we were more agricultural, the women worked in the farms. The women worked in the landscape of the environment. They didn't just stay in the house. They always did something. And even after slavery, post-slavery, women have done stuff. So I'm not worried about the two-income household, but it's why you're doing it. Why are you going to college? Are you going to college to be independent of a man, or are you going to college to get a job to support your man and your family? It's like that mentality that's been instilled. I think a lot of weak-ass niggas push that.
No, I think what's happening is they're going to college and trying to get an education because they are United States citizen, and you need those things to survive. Like for example, if you're saying,
that might have been a thing at one point in human history, in United States history, when women going to college, but I don't think that's happening right now.
Let me ask you this: why do you think anybody's
not the one is our age?
Money? Why do you think anyone is trying to get money? For what reason?
There's multiple reasons to get money. What do you mean?
Right, for independence and the ability to afford to live in the United States. Like that's required from both genders. Like that's the issue that we're having. The issue is people are trying to do things to simply survive or be able to do things.
You don't have to strive to get money to be independent.
How else do you become independent?
I'm saying you can strive to get money to be dependable for other people and have other people around you. You don't have to be striving to have money to be by yourself.
Who's doing that?
I'm doing that. You
think
I'm making I mean, a lot of if a guy wants a family, you think he's making a whole bunch of money to be by himself? Or is he making a whole bunch of money to get a family?
They're not doing this shit for family. They're doing this shit for fucking. Like it's two different things.
You're conflating.
I'm not conflating anything. I swear to God, I'm not.
You think most guys are making a bunch of money so that they can be independent of people?
I think when you look at the stats, most people don't want babies. So they're not doing it for quote unquote family. They're not doing it to produce. They're doing it because
there are more young men right now that want kids.
They are looking for somewhere for a source of independence. They don't want to be at their mother and father's house, so they have to find ways to make money. And the ways that they're doing that, they're doing it to have their own independent space. I don't think most men, especially young men, are looking to have a wife and kids in their younger years because that's not what's being communicated.
That's not about it being in their younger years, because now that's even worse, because not even necessarily worse, but that's not the point. The point is that they want to have a wife and kids. If you were to look up the stats right now and see the polls on it, majority of young men want to have a wife and kids, and they're thriving to do that within their younger years. They're not influenced to say, I don't want children or I don't want a wife. The majority of them still like women and still want. We just did the video the other week, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
And
young men like women. Young women don't like young men.
No, young men like certain things about women, and that's where
young men still want kids and a family. Majority of them.
Right, and young women want those things under conditions that they feel meets their needs. It's not going to be under this guise or under this thing of quote unquote traditionalism.
But I'm saying there's a lot more young women that don't want a husband and will say, I don't want kids and I don't want a husband, more than young men. About 10%, it's about a 10 to 50% difference in margin. That's a lot.
And I think generally speaking, young men don't want kids, or I think both people don't want kids because they simply can't afford it. One, and then two, for the ones that do or are wanting to have kids, they want to have a relationship that's conducive for both for themselves as women, and a man wants something for himself. I think that's what's clashing.
The stats show that the majority of people that have kids are the brokest.
Right. So people who are college educated are looking and saying, we're not going to do that because what am I giving to my kid? What kind of life am I giving?
Kids, as you're saying, right? They're not looking to have kids because the majority of women that are college educated don't want to have kids until later in life or at all.
Yeah, but the reason why they don't want to have kids is because they can't afford the kid. It's not because they just don't want to have kids.
That's not true.
I don't think that's true.
Are you?
I think it's.
Really?
I think majority of women. Like, I can name some off the top of my head right now, just that I know personally. They're just not having kids because they just enjoy life. Like, they have the ability to kind of
having
do
trips and
And
shit.
the,
Yeah.
Go spend food as much as they want. And
the same thing applies to men too. That's the thing. There's studies that show both don't want to have kids because they enjoy their lifestyle. They can't afford it, and they enjoy being able to do.
Yeah,
what
the
they
margins are
do.
the same though. Is what I'm saying.
Even
I don't think you're on.
Let's look it
One
up.
is
Let's
under.
look it up.
One is
Look
over
it
the
up.
majority line, and one is under the minority line.
All right, because
There's starting to become a minority number of women that want to have a family and children versus it's still a majority of men that want to have a family and a wife and kids.
All right, let's see. Do Gen Z men want kids, and then we'll see if do Gen Z, because these numbers and the more you look into these things, the express reason for a lot of them, a lot of people's concerns for not having kids is income and the expensive that comes behind it. The second portion of it is maintaining a lifestyle or having a lifestyle that they enjoy.
Do
Gen Z. So I got two different articles.
Do between the age of 18 and 35, so we could just limit like the.
I'm just doing Gen Z.
Gen Z is 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds.
Right, so, but if you're asking the question, I'm sure they're not asking 12 or 13-year-olds.
Well, I'm just saying why he said 18 to 35, because 35 would include millennials too, and then the
right, so
age
they say
adult about people.
It's 18 to 34, right? That's the age range that they'll be asking, like, to keep it Gen Z. So a significant growing of Gen Z women are hesitant or have no desire to have children. Yes, a significant number of Gen Z men express the desire to have children, with some studies indicating that men 1834 are actually more eager to become parents than their female counterparts. While roughly 57% of men in this age group definitely want kids, motivators vary from viewing fatherhood as a vital life milestone to associate with traditional masculine provider roles. All right, so let's see. Let me find. I could just share this screen to show y'all what I'm looking at. That's the AI overview. They've got three different. Let's look at this one. Gen Z men want babies. Gen Z women don't. The gray area. Okay. Oh, can y'all see this? Share this.
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Like that drew you in. What were you looking for when you started reporting?
All right, let's speed this shit up. He's talking slow.
On this piece on how Gen Z men and women are thinking about parenthood and how differently.
Overwhelmingly, you'll see young men more excited, more enthusiastic about having children one day than young women. I wanted to dig into it a little bit. And I also wanted to ask some young men and sort of people who work with and do polling on young men, like, what does that mean? Like, you want kids? Like, what kind of a father do you want to be? Does that mean you want to be an involved father and really spending a lot of time with your kids? Are you imagining like some kind of trad lifestyle where like you have a stay-at-home wife and you're going out to the office?
Welcome to the Gray Area Friday. My guest today is Anna North, my longtime colleague at Vox, who I'm ashamed to say I've not had on the show before, but we are riding that ship today. She's a wonderful reporter. She writes about kids, parenthood, American family life. She's also a novelist. That is my introduction of you. Did I miss anything? How would you introduce yourself at a party?
At a party, I guess I'd say I'm a reporter and a writer, journalist and novelist. So you did pretty good.
Your beat as a journalist, it's pretty capacious. Kids, families, parenthood, a lot of gender politics. I mean, it's a pretty broad area to cover. I'm not sure that's a typical beat in a lot of newsrooms. I mean, how did you land on that?
Yeah, I came to Vox as the gender reporter in 2017. That was sort of right when Me Too was becoming really big. And so I reported on that for about a year, almost exclusively. And since then, I sort of do a lot of things, but a lot of it circles around, I typically call it American family life. I write a newsletter called Kids Today, which I think of really as a newsletter about kids' lives, like not so much about parenting. There's a lot of really great parenting newsletters out there. And I try to steer clear of advice. And instead, as much as I can, just to talk to kids about their experiences and learn about what kids are experiencing right now. And I've also kind of like been trying to have more empathy for children and figure out what it's like to be a kid today. When I had kids, I realized like how powerless you are as a kid and how other people dictate so much of your daily life. So I find myself a lot of times like trying to get in their headspace and think about what is that like and how do kids take back a little power.
How many kids do you have?
2.
I have one 6-year-old and another one on the way, actually.
Oh, congratulations. That's exciting.
In April. Should I be terrified?
Nah, it's fine. You'll be fine. Your 6-year-old's big, like they can dress themselves, you'll be fine.
Okay. I'm mostly excited, but a little terrified. We'll see. Speaking of kids and having them, you got a piece out about Gen Z and their evolving views on parenthood, which I found very interesting and surprising in some ways and maybe not so surprising in other ways. What was it about this topic that drew you in? Was there something like some mystery you felt like you needed to solve? Like what were you looking for when you like started reporting on this piece on how like Gen Z men and women are thinking about parenthood and how differently they're thinking about parenthood?
Yeah, no, I saw this really interesting poll of young voters, Gen Z voters, and it looked at male Trump voters, male Harris voters, female Trump voters, and female Harris voters, and asked them to rank like what are the things you think are important in a good life, essentially. And the male Trump voters actually rated having children as number 1 among like 12 or 13 different options. Nobody else had it up that high, not any of the women, no matter how they voted, and not male Harris voters either. And, like then I did some reporting on that poll and people said like, well, it's just one poll. Maybe you shouldn't put too much stock in it. But then if you look at
all right, does that matter to anybody? Like the fact that that was the case? Like the male voters were Trump supporters are probably conservative, and so they placed a higher rank than anybody else. With that, is that an indicator of anything?
Yeah, like more traditional, more conservative values. I think that would definitely influence a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're on the same page there, right? Highlighting that I think matters.
Well, that's what I've always. But I'm
right.
saying women have always gone to college. A lot of times women use it as a place to get married, to find their husband. So that's why I'm not arguing about them going to college and getting an education. I've always said it's not about them going to college, it's why they're going. What's the mentality behind it? If you're going there to get a husband and have and develop a skill set from college to be helpful to yourself and your family, that's different. But if you're going there to get a skill set and a degree to be independent of a family, that's not very helpful. That's not very helpful. It might be helpful for you to pick. That's an opinion.
Right.
If the outcome is to how quote unquote better the community and help the overall GDP of your country in terms of growing the thriving development of people, keeping the culture of discipline going and stuff like that in marriage before you carry type of shit, then that's the outcome I promote. But if your outcome is just you like you said, Cheeky, just being selfish and having a better life for yourself where you can financially do whatever you want and be financially independent, go on trips and eat and buy random devices and blah, 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 then yeah. But if that's not your outcome, which I have asked a lot of young women around my age, what type of outcomes they want. And generally speaking, the things they're doing is not conducive to that.
So are we saying we think men go to college for the purpose of family and all of that?
Yeah. So what I would say, I think they do, but I think that changes by the time they get older, like past their 30s, right? Because then they're kind of getting into their prime for men, right? So they're at their financial prime, they're at their physical prime, they're at their emotional maturity prime, all that type of stuff. So they're like, you know what? Fuck these hoes, I'm bachelor for life type shit. You know what I mean? That I feel like that flips after that point.
You talking about if they single for that long?
Yeah.
So they didn't find a wife in college? I think Chica said they're like going to college to find a wife.
I don't think they go to college. I'm sorry. I hate to be the bearer, the bearer of bad news.
A lot of
people,
people,
when niggas in college was not going to college to find a wife. They was going through there to run through some shit. And the only ones that were going the only ones that were going to find a wife tend to be religious, because I was a part of the religious group, but also I had football friends and I had football and people that was just going to college. Most people are going to college. They're trying to just get the education, get a good job, and if they find somebody in the process of doing that and they last, then it works. But most of the time,
two things could be true at the same time though. Like going to college, going to college and supporting a family one day is your ultimate goal. That is the ultimate intention. That's what you're going to do. That's the end goal, right? But while you get to that goal, I want to fuck these hoes, right? that two things can be true at the same time. Yeah, like that happens.
Because we wouldn't accept. No, we would not accept that from. We wouldn't accept that from women. Like women was like, yeah, I'm trying to get married, and they out here fucking around. We're not gonna be like, oh, I believe what she's saying because her.
Well, you need money. Well, you need money to like have a family,
That's
right?
now though. Majority of men don't go to college. One. Majority of men don't go to college. Majority of people in college aren't men. And if you were to say if in 1970 versus 2026, the reasons why they're going to college might be a little bit different. They didn't have Project X, as a movie to thrive to go want to do some crazy shit or different. What's it called? Blue Mountain State. You know what I mean? They didn't have these type of shows and American Pies, whatever. They didn't have these in the 70s. So you going to college was pushed as something. It's low key as a point of rite of passage to where you find a wife and get a level of education if you want an educated wife and not just some random chick off the street.
Yeah, I think they go to college and they get their degree to establish a solid basis for themselves to start to make money.
And most people got married younger,
and I think
who
that
had kids younger.
both men and women. Both men and women are looking for a way to be independent apart from their parents because you are just now leaving high school where dependency on your parents was the thing that drove you to find a college to go to make money to be independent on your own. Now, when you're independent, no, the goalposts ain't being moved.
Context is being added.
No.
I hear context. He said independent of your parents. I didn't hear that at first. Did anybody hear him say independent of his parents at first?
First of all, who? Okay, so
why is this context being added, sir?
Because you're saying that they're going. You're saying any girl being going to college should be independent of people or the male, the counterparts.
Yeah, I think a lot of weak ass niggas was pushing that onto their daughters.
Why is that a weak thing to do when you're literally just saying go be an adult?
No, you're telling them to be independent of men.
No, they're not saying be independent of men.
You pushing this as a point to you're telling them to go get a career as a negative in a sense that something's going to happen to you, so you need this as a backup plan. That's a narrative. Like I said, I don't have an issue with you going to college. I have an issue as to why you're going to it and how that plays out within the outcomes you want. So if you wanted a relationship to be successful, if you wanted a long-term relationship, you thinking that the way you compartmentalize how you get things and how you move doesn't impact that? No. The reason why you get money wouldn't impact how you treat and how you get how you dictate certain outcomes in your life.
The reason
someone that gets it by selling drugs versus someone that starts a business, that doesn't dictate certain outcomes in life.
Sure, I guess. I mean, one is a criminal and one is a business owner. Yeah, that would dictate a lot. If you're a criminal, yeah.
So if I'm going to college, the point of me going to college wouldn't dictate the outcomes that I have in life?
Yeah, it would. I agree. It would. If you're saying I'm going, I would say, go ahead. What are you trying to say?
Do you understand why I disagree?
Yes, you're saying that the intention for women to go to college is to actually be independent of their male counterparts, right? They're getting these jobs and education to bypass a man, right? That is what you're saying.
To bypass a family,
which would include a man, unless we considering gay people, and I don't think you are at all. All right, so
I'm just including.
You're including heterosexual couples that would involve a man. You're saying women are going to college to bypass needing or having or wanting to start a family. My stance is this. I think both parties are going to college in order to be independent, right? No, I don't think either one is going there with the intent of looking for a wife, but they're going there to get an education in hopes of being able to be independent just as people. And within that process, if a male or a woman comes into play, then you will accept that. But if it does not, you're not going to stop and be like, oh, my college time, I missed my purpose. I don't think. Yeah, go ahead.
Is it possible they're going to college to put themselves in the maximalist position to have the option to do either or?
And that's my point, Black Don. But to make it seem as if men are weak for saying to their daughters, go to college, get an education so you could be independent. I don't think they're saying you be independent so you never have a family. Because at some point, the same men that have daughters will say, when you gonna have grandbabies? Trust me, I've seen it happen plenty of times. At some point, that whoever's daughters went to college, those same men are saying, hey, well, when you gonna pop out some kids? Because the dads also want their daughters to have babies, so they're not pushing college as the way to bypass
people's mouths. They've said the same person that said don't have kids yet is, like you were saying, now once they get to a certain age, when you gonna have them kids? But they weren't teaching them or training them or influencing them to have kids or being ready for kids and none of that. But then when they get 27-year-olds, they look at them like, why don't you have a husband and getting ready to have kids? But they did nothing throughout their whole life to influence them to do that. I think those are probably most young people's situation nowadays when they're dealing with old people, especially you talking about their parents or their older relatives, is they didn't do anything throughout their entire life to influence or push them to that. They pushed them to be selfish and independent and to be scared of relationship down there because they try. YouTube streets is full of it. They can't figure it out themselves. All this old nigga narrative, all these talking points is from old niggas, and they just push this trauma and projection onto the young people. And so now these young people are moving accordingly. You're talking about them being selfish, but I'm saying it's because of these old niggas as to why they're doing that.
No responsible parent is going to tell their daughter from the ages 18 to 21 to have a child, because no responsible parent who's done that
is telling them to have a kid at 18 to 21. What are
saying?
You
have the mentality, like the.
Oh my god! Oh
so
no!
I think what Sway's trying to say is like majority of life, specifically with women, they've never been taught or properly reared to have the mentality of being like a mother during those early ages.
And, okay, and that's it. And again, that may be the case, or we can say that's the case, but to say that that's the issue, I don't think is the reality of it. I don't think that's the reality of it at all. I
guess my question would be, if they were never taught that, right, and they go to college, and then like I said before, they're going to college to have the option either to have a family or be independent, especially when we see like today's current like social pressures and things we see on social media and in our groups and on these like what Sway said, the trauma stories. What is the logical conclusion of what they're going to pick after all of that? Right? They're going to just pick to live their lives for themselves. I think that's the ultimate. That's what's going to happen ultimately at the end of the day.
But even if they pick they pick that, I'm not understanding what the issue is, because that is a logical conclusion to the same thing for men as well. Like, why would I make the expectation, or why would I tell, if I had a daughter, to tell my daughter go to college with the expectation of looking for a husband, when I don't think that's being taught to men either.
I don't disagree with you.
Okay.
You keep bringing them in like I disagreed as to why. I'm speaking in minority and majorities, and we spoke to young men and them wanting having a family and children in their lives, not having a kid at 18 or getting married at 20, but within that 18 to 29 range, they are looking to develop and garner that experience to, at some point within that, hopefully more than likely on the back end, that the 28 range, to have been married and starting to have a kid by then. So they want to find a woman that they're going to be dealing with in their early 20s, so they can be in a relationship with her for a couple years, figure out who she is, and then do all that. And by then they'll be 26, 27, 28, 29, like the majority of people.
And you're saying that someone's teaching them that?
It's teaching them what? Teaching the young men?
Yeah, teaching the young men.
More young men are thriving to do that than young women.
Right, but what I'm saying is, how you coming to that conclusion? Are you saying that's being taught to the young men?
Just saying it right now. What are you talking about?
Right,
no, he's asking for the how.
Right, like I'm asking you, how are young men getting to that conclusion? Are you saying young men are being taught right? In the same way that you're saying daughters are being taught not to do
Yeah,
so.
young men's young men's masculine birth of performance and the traditional man has never gone away. That idea,
Yeah.
the idea that men should be getting a family and taking care of them and wanting to be a father in their kid's life has never been taken away from our duty.
So, and you're saying that's just being taught on a societal level, not necessarily from a parent.
It's being influenced on a societal level.
Okay, so but to be clear, no one is to take credit for that understanding. It's just something that's inherent.
If you co-sign this narrative, right, then you are a part of that. And I think a lot of weak ass niggas co-sign that one narrative, that women follow.
Women. Okay.
And they also co-sign they co-sign the idea of men going to college and taking care of women and blah 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 blah. They don't co-sign men going to college and fucking a bunch of bitches. There are men that do co-sign that. I just don't think the majority of men openly co-sign saying you go to college to just fuck a bunch of bitches.
And that's why I think it's different, right? Like,
you think the majority of men co-sign that?
I think majority of men tell their sons, go have fun, go experiment, go date, go fuck. Like, I don't think a majority of men in America are saying, hey, when you go to college, make sure you find yourself a wife. That's not a conversation I think most men are having about any of those things. If anything, I think they're saying don't wear protection, because the expectation is that you're not going to be out here settling down with one girl while in college.
I don't think it's either of those either. I don't think they're saying go find a wife or go find or fuck a bunch of bitches. I do think they say if you do wear protection, but the main purpose of men going to college, like you say, is to develop themselves, do garner a family. Most men tell men to seek that later in life because the things you need are developed. They don't really tell them nowadays because it's not as easily accessible to be that type of man in terms of financial instability, because we don't have a community to push that. And so they are telling them, if you're going to do it, quote unquote, by yourself, starting a family with no community to support you, then you're going to have to do it later in life. I know a lot of young men that do it earlier in life, but generally speaking, they have their people that help them cultivate that in terms of taking care of the kid or helping them buy a home or helping them do this or whatever. Like, there are other people that are experience of wisdom or older than them, they're helping them through that. And I think for the majority of human history, that was probably the case as to how they even did it. I don't think a lot of 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds was having kids just by themselves as a norm. I think we had 19-year-olds and 20-year-olds having kids because they were living near family and everybody was helping them. So this idea that we can have kids later in life, by ourselves was never a thing, or early in life by ourselves was never a thing, in my opinion. I don't think a bunch of 19-year-olds was having kids with no family to help them.
Okay, and you're saying that that's different now, that most of us
I
living
think
individualistically?
If in terms of how we envision having a kid, yeah, we envision having a kid by ourselves. Having to take care of it and financially be like you say, independent, quote unquote, of
everyone else. Okay, so so we agree there.
But I'm talking about never mind. We don't have to keep going on that rabbit hole. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I think we've got. I don't think we're agreeing on the messaging that men get when it comes to family and relationships by and large. I think that's a subset, and I think they tend to be conservative, religious group of people that get that quote unquote push, especially because a lot of men just aren't, like, the numbers for college is not high for men. So that prep talk to find a woman in college and things of that nature, I don't think it's going like that. I don't think every group of guys that I've ever been with, especially during college, no one ever talked about how their dad, if they had a dad, that's a strong if they had a dad, to be looking for a wife. And for the ones that did have a mom, whatever, they weren't ever talking about being married. It was always like, it was more so like, make sure you don't get a girl pregnant, make sure you're wearing protection, or make sure if you're going to do these things, do it safely, or whatever the case, because the expectation is young men don't settle down. It's only till they get to their late 30s or whatever, or late 20s, early 30s, that they want to settle down. That's always been the societal thing as well. So it's like these two things are sound very conflicting.
the societal thing was for you to get married young and settle down young, and y'all develop y'all lives together. That was the thing. Now it is being two different narratives promoted to two different parties. There was a collective narrative between men and women, young men and women. Now it's one, you go do this, and the other, you go do that. And then somehow when they do come together, we expect them not to conflate each other, but they do. Because honestly, most of the narrative, like you're saying, it's been pretty much promoted that what men used to do in terms of taking care of a family and sustaining a family, ultimately, if you're going to do it by yourself, you're just an adult, which is cool. You are just an adult if you're just doing it by yourself. You're not necessarily a father, a mother, a husband, or a wife, or anything else other than just an adult doing adult things. You're taking care of yourself. But the main conflation is how developing those skills to do that comes together within a relationship. If you do want a marriage as a man or a woman, are you developing any skills to actually cultivate you having a successful family and a cohesive dynamic? Because y'all can communicate out problems and being able to talk in a direction that makes sense rather than just banging your heads against the wall because neither one of you really makes sense. And you're just it's all feelings based. I think that's most people's problems in these relationships is they spent 25 years in their life not thinking or developing any skills to have a successful relationship. They didn't care about it because they weren't promoted to. Society doesn't promote it. The family don't promote it. Or like I was saying, the narratives are different, so they conflate.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's two separate narratives that we have, and you're sticking with the narrative of young men on a societal level being taught to have kids, have family, and provide. But at the same time, there is a narrative, and we can't bypass it, that was also taught: have fun while you're young, and you'll settle down later.
Mm-hmm.
Like so, those two don't coincide. They cannot.
Yeah,
you can't be the person to say, I was taught to have kids, have a family, then I ask you your body count and it's 300. Like something's not adding up. Something's wrong. So if you're saying those two things are being taught, it seems like there's more confusion on what it is that a man should be doing because those two things are coinciding or can't coincide. Whereas a girl going to college to be independent makes sense because who's going to take care of her at her grown ass age? Who's going to do that? Nobody. No one's going to do that thing. No one's going to take care of a girl besides a girl herself. The only time a girl, I guess, will be taken care of if she's hot enough, I guess, or meets some quote unquote man that's got enough money to do so. But most people in college that are girls, they have to do this exact same thing that boys have to do. They got to find ways to pay rent. They got to find ways to get to class, just like the boys do. And what they'll do is they'll meet each other in the middle. And if they continue to enjoy each other while dating, they may get married. But this idea that women are going to college and should be thinking, well, I need to have a family, start a family. That's not exactly what men are being taught either. Both of them are being taught something very differently. And to say that society is holding men on one side and women on another side, I just don't think is the case.
You just agreed that. You just said they're being taught things differently. So they are being held on one side and held on the other. And I literally said that one side is being taught one thing, the other side is being taught the other. And when they end up coming together, they conflate.
But I'm saying both sides are being taught the same thing, which is be young, and settle down later. That is something that I'm hearing on both ends. Both men and women are saying that. Have fun, be young. And then when you get older, settle down.
Who do you hear that from? I don't hear any men saying that.
What do you mean you don't hear any men saying that?
I see a lot of niggas that have fun tell niggas to not have fun.
And what are those niggas that say the niggas that's what do those niggas do?
There's a lot of niggas that you're saying that had the fun. They don't tell young niggas, yeah, go do what I did and have a bunch of fun. They usually say, don't do this goofy shit and don't have a bunch of fun. They usually tell niggas to figure out with a chick and settle down with her.
And what is it that the young men do? They follow that direction.
They do whatever they want. You could be taught something and do whatever you want, Cheeky.
Okay, so I would say the same thing. I think
mean,
young men.
I'm sure
I think
most of us are all taught how to clean our room, and at the end of the day, it's up to us on how, if we want to do it or how we really want to do it.
And you're saying that you think women, what are you hearing from men today to their daughters that is saying, don't get into a family? Like where are you hearing that at?
We've been on panels for 4 years. I've heard grown men in the chat, in real life, say this to their kids, that they don't want them getting into relationships until they're 30 years old, and they should go to college to develop the skills so they can be independent and they can be able to take care of themselves.
What person? Because that same group of men, I've also heard them say they'd raise their daughters to be a good wife for a man.
Cap.
You see what I'm saying? You're saying that's cap, but I've heard that from the people that you're saying.
That's the cognitive dissonance. I'd be like, y'all niggas be the same niggas I be arguing against. Y'all, I be like, y'all be the problem a lot of the time. I've been said that. I said these niggas that got daughters, y'all be the issue. Y'all think y'all not, but y'all do. Y'all won't tell you. And this one might be extreme or whatever, but y'all not gonna tell you your daughter if she's unattractive or fat a lot of the times, or maybe have a bad personality. You might, a lot of times they coddle their daughters. They're not gonna be openly blunt and honest a lot of the times. They're gonna tell them to shoot for the stars and they can get whatever they want, and they're gonna go push them to be strong and independent. They do this. You start like these same men, if you start asking certain questions like, did you do this? Would you do that? Have you done this? What do you think about this? They start telling on themselves.
Okay, and you're saying that for the men, they're telling their sons, don't be promiscuous and marry a girl.
Especially if they fucked a bunch of women growing up.
You believe that?
I believe what?
That they're telling their sons, don't be promiscuous and marry a girl, and they're not raising their daughters to be wives.
Yeah.
Why would you believe one thing and not the other? From the same individual, from the same person that you just said start exposing and telling on themselves.
What do you mean? Why would I believe one and not the other?
You said what now?
You said why wouldn't I believe one and not the other?
Yeah, why would you believe that they're telling their sons, don't be promiscuous and marry a girl, and the same person that may have a daughter is telling their daughters, you need to learn how to be a wife? Why wouldn't you believe that they're telling their daughter, you need to learn how to be a wife?
They could be. There could be. The main thing is what I'm seeing being projected out of them, not only their mouths, so what they say, they're actually telling them, versus what is being influenced of what they're doing. So like, not like the kids is actually doing. So it's on one hand of what you're actually saying you're doing and what you're actually telling them and how you're influencing them, and then the outcomes based on how they move.
So what if this is their outcome, right? They have a whore of a son and a whore of a daughter.
Okay.
So like, again, this is what I'm talking about. The outcome itself. The outcome itself is not producing anything.
If you're right. And this is where I don't put fault on those. I'm not going to put fault on you as a parent is your kid is smoking weed if you don't smoke weed. Now, if you were smoking weed in the house and your kids see you smoking weed in the house and he starts smoking weed in the house, I'm blaming you for him smoking weed.
Okay. And if they are married to their mother and they stayed married, and some woman or boy doesn't get married, or they're both promiscuous, then that's not on the parents in either.
I didn't know what the fuck you just said.
I'm saying, so for example, if you're saying if you won't blame a kid, or you won't blame the parents if the parents don't smoke around the kids, right? They don't have any evidence of them smoking. They never seen them smoke. They never seen a joint or a blunt in the house from their parents ever. So my question is, if you see your father being married to your mother, and that is what you see, you see the formation of a family, you see that, and a girl decides to go to college and decides she doesn't want that, and a boy goes to college and decides he doesn't want that, then the parents also aren't at fault either, correct?
No, if I didn't say, yeah, they're not at fault. If a dad is if a dad is telling his daughter, hey, go to college and get a husband, blah, blah, and she goes decide to be a hoe, I'm not saying that's a dad's fault. But if he's sitting there telling her to go do things that are quite literally coinciding and influence to go pretty much be that, then I'm going to say it's your fault.
Okay, got you. And I think I understand what you're saying.
If your kid decided to be a crackhead, you didn't tell him to go smoke crack.
Okay.
You didn't give him a good life. You discipline him and give the nigga decided to do. It's a bunch of silver spoon or golden spoon, or whatever spoon kids.
Whatever they call it, that do things that their parents told them not to do.
Exactly. Like you had the world as your.
And I'm trying to make sure. Yeah. I'm just trying to make sure we're on the same page. I'm like, why are we calling the men that have daughters?
I was smart enough as a kid in the hood and not to know to do the goofy shit in the hood,
whatever the shit they was doing,
or do this other weird shit, or yeah, I was smart enough to like, no, that's stupid. My old parents also enforced that. That's stupid. I agree. I'm not going to do it. So like, that's why I'm like, it's two sides to it. Not only do your kids got to have their own part, but you as a parent have to have your part. I'm like, I'm going to tell you this so there is no dumb goofy. There is no dumb goofy. I said it, and you can now move accordingly. And if you were my kid, then I have more responsibility over that. But if it's just a random person, I could care less. Like, I told you that if you do X, Y, Z, this is going to happen. You decide to do whatever you want. And don't cry about it. I said at the beginning of the show, my biggest issue is people crying about it. I don't care what you do. Just don't cry about it, because you knew for the most part what was going to happen. Same with these titty milk nipple niggas nowadays. They knew they was going to get milk out their nipples if they took all them steroids, and he not crying about it. He laughed about it. I have no issues with him. He not crying at steroids and giving him milk nipples.
Okay. You're just saying that if you are the parent that's teaching your kids or women in particular to be independent, you're the problem, because the independency is overriding what? Marriage,
which is codependency.
You think marriage? Okay, and you're saying marriage,
you're cohabitating with someone. You have to everything damn near.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay, and I don't know if I have any proof of that being taught mainstream.
If you influence a child to be selfish, how do you think that's going to play out and once they stop being a child?
Wait,
you think it's
not be selfish? No, yeah.
Every other aspect of their life on how they have relationships or do anything.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm not disagreeing that parenting influences behavior. That's not a disagreement. It's just I don't think that's what's being taught. Right? I don't think that's being taught on both ends. I don't think those two things are being taught. I don't think men are getting that much of a different conversation.
I'm about to lose my shit the next time I see a white father standing near his daughter and his daughter got booty shorts on, bro.
What? What are you talking about?
There are men out there that co-sign their 14-year-old daughters, 15-year-old daughters to have shorts that go way past their knee, not past, up above their knee, and it don't make sense to me. I'm like, you nigga, you should be locked up. That's CPS. If that same outfit was in the 80s or 90s, that would be deemed as like a prostitute, bro. So I've read books. I'm like, this, why would you?
Nigga said that's prostitution.
My daughter would never. She couldn't even own. Like, it don't make sense. You co-signing the behavior.
Okay, and you're saying they're not raising this. They're raising their sons to be stand up.
Tank top on with fucking booty shorts on, and you walking out, or sweatpants on, you walking down the street. Who raised you? I want to call CPS, but that's snitching.
Okay, I got you. And then you're saying the son's outcome is much different. They're much better people than the son's
outcome. Honestly, ain't that much better, to be honest with you, because they be raising to be punk ass, the next generation of punk ass niggas. It's just another cycle of a punk ass nigga, of an emotional punk ass nigga that don't know how to regulate himself and be successful in life and with a family. The happy wife, happy life ass niggas.
Okay, I got you. You're just saying that those men are the problem, and sure, I agree. Those men are the problem.
I said that at the beginning, and we've been here for 40 minutes arguing me about these men being the problem because I said these weak bitch ass niggas is the problem.
Yeah, we argue about something different, but I understand.
No, I didn't argue about nothing different. I feel like I said what I said, but maybe I gotta.
No, you said
but,
what you said, and I just disagree that young boys are just being taught to be husbands and young women are not. I feel like no one's teaching anybody how to be a husband or a wife, and I don't think society as a whole is teaching men that. Really, I don't think society's talking to men, so let alone even teaching them. So I think society has turned their back on men in a lot of ways. So for me to say that men are just getting this download of information on how to be a husband, that is not true. Men are not getting talked to. The fathers may be lacking, sure, but the mothers aren't teaching them how to be husbands because they don't know what that is. So nobody's teaching anybody how to do anything, and we're all kind of just doing our own thing. That's what I'm saying, and that's why it's just like, for me to make it seem as if men are being taught how to be this, it's just not true. That's just not the case.
Cross polls, overwhelmingly, you'll see young men more excited, more enthusiastic about having children one day than young women. And I could think of a lot of possible reasons why that might be, but I wanted to dig into it a little bit. And I also wanted to ask some young men and sort of people who work with and do polling on young men, like, what does that mean? Like, you want kids? Like, what kind of a father do you want to be? Does that mean you want to be an involved father and really spending a lot of time with your kids? Are you imagining like some kind of trad lifestyle where like you have a stay-at-home wife and you're going out to the office? Like, what? I was just very curious about like what fatherhood meant to these Gen Z men who like are very excited to do it one day.
Yeah, I have the numbers here, and I don't want to butcher it, so I'll look at it. This is from your piece. So this was a 2023 Pew poll. And 57% of men between 18 and 34 said they wanted to have kids one day, like definitively. And only 45% of women said that. That was a little surprising to me. Maybe it shouldn't be. I guess I just would have assumed that those numbers would have been just closer.
I was kind of surprised by that. As you say, I thought it was a pretty big gap, especially given that the narrative that I think we had heard about young Gen Z people generally over the last couple of years is this is a generation that doesn't want kids. This generation doesn't want to get married. This is a generation that's like really worried about the future and like feeling really alienated and doesn't sort of want to take these steps toward conventional family. And so I thought it was interesting that these high numbers of Gen Z men were saying like, no, actually, we do want kids. If you dig back into the historical polling, it's a little wonky. There's some evidence that women without children for a long time have had a little bit more trepidation than men without children, and partly that's for reasons that make sense. Like they know that their careers could take a hit. They've all read those articles about the motherhood penalty. They know that they will probably have to give birth, which men don't have to do. And deal with physical recovery. And
do you think that matters? Stuff like that. Like, do you think that would affect whether or not a girl wants to have a kid or not?
Yeah. He said, if you push him into a career, if you push his career as a level of happiness to strive for, that if you don't go after this, that you're going to be missing out on something, then yeah, you would be contemplating thinking about sacrificing having children so that you can do so. Because that has been as a potential negative thing towards upward mobility because you won't be as available. And the best, what's the saying?
Hey, what's good, Norman?
Anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, okay.
Sort of deal with all of
what about the whole pregnancy thing and
that's what I was saying.
Okay, I'm about to say like
you can't work.
You say that again?
You can't.
Well,
really
no. I'm not talking about not working. I'm talking about like the actual process of being pregnant and pushing out a kid. That shit don't seem like it's no fun at all. Like, I don't know if guys had to do that shit. I don't know if we'd do it.
I mean, you know what I'm going through, so. I'm on vacation right now. I'm on vacation right now.
Yeah, okay. So what I'm saying is, I don't know if I was a girl, if I would do this shit either. That don't look like no fun. I remember seeing that as a kid, like, hell no.
I think something we all, like as a society, knew that it wasn't being pregnant as a woman is just not the funnest thing. But since we knew that, we gave pregnant women like the utmost level of respect, protection, courtesy, grace like damn near they like Jesus walking on concrete, right? They can just go and do whatever they want damn near if they're a pregnant woman. Everyone is going to be moving and parting the sea for her if she's pregnant. Damn, like for in a lot of ways. Now, has that dwindled? Maybe because people start to care less about other people, but generally speaking, as a society, that has always been what was understood. And you know, when a woman was pregnant, everybody kind of went out their way for her.
Changed. Oh, it definitely changed.
Just say you niggas are diabolical. Say you ain't got no morals, Cheeky.
We diabolical. We don't got no morals. Fuck that pregnant lady. Fuck that pregnant lady.
What pregnant lady
Fuck that pregnant lady. Who told you to get pregnant? See, that's what I'm telling you, and you'll see it in the comment section. Because I don't know. I remember we started watching these videos and we was like, damn, pregnant people standing up now. That's what's going on. And everybody's like, that's what feminism is. You want equal rights.
See?
So why are we acting as if the society, why are we acting like men as a whole have just decided, you know what? We don't give a fuck. And women have responded and seen that. And it makes sense. If y'all want to act like y'all want to be feminist and independent, then be that way. We don't give a fuck if you get pregnant. We don't give a fuck if.
But that seems like that's not a pregnant woman's thought process. No, but she's pregnant. So how would that a woman that's pregnant wouldn't make me think, oh, she want to be independent. Me seeing a pregnant woman made me think, oh, she would a nigga. Like, I'm not thinking she independent if she pregnant. I'm thinking she probably has a man and she's not strong and independent and she's not a part of the sisterhood in that way because she's making life decisions. But granted, you get single mom, but in the same breath, I'm not gonna put that down. As a nigga though, that you gonna get pregnant for 9 months, you got rid of him.
All right, you look, man. You are saying that
city.
You were
That's
saying
why you got the major city traumas where
it's not. No, it's not major city trauma.
So Kendra G's, the Kevin Samuels, they all came from Houston, Atlanta, New York.
It ain't major city trauma. It's literally gender.
One of those people
is gender banging. It's gender banging, dog.
Gender banging.
We're at the highest peak of if you a man, fuck women, and if you a woman, fuck men. I'm telling you, that's where it's at. We're at that point. We're at the point where if you're on the opposite side, we don't really fuck with you. And I'm not saying me per se, right? I think that's the difference between me and you. Like as people, me and you don't have that. We don't care. Like, what are y'all talking about? At some point, me and you look at it and be like, this shit goofy. It's getting worse way. That's the amount of people that think to themselves, this shit is goofy is dwindling. Okay. And I'm letting you know right now, these niggas don't give a fuck. They don't care. Be pregnant. I ain't forced you to get pregnant. Why do I care if you're pregnant? Why do I have to get up out of my seat? I have saw videos of that. And I'm like, oh, we there. We're here. where we supposed to be at?
The stereotyping and stigmatizing that comes with like having a female body that becomes a mother in this world. So it's like not weird that young women might have more anxieties, but I think what was striking to me was the size of the gap and really the size of the enthusiasm among men of a generation that are expressing this like pretty like, you know, conventional and pretty like social aspiration to have a family.
Having kids is just really hard and it's really expensive, increasingly expensive, especially if you live. I mean, when we lived in the DC area before we moved, we had a 6-month-old. Daycare was $2,000 a month. The preschool.
Major city problems.
Where
your grandmama at? Where your abuela at? Where your nana at, nigga? Where is y'all family at? Why is daycare becoming a normal thing? Daycare was never a normal thing when I was growing up.
Because
that was never,
bro. Yeah, and that's the thing, bro. You keep speaking on this like this time frame that happened before niggas needed to get jobs in major cities.
Life. Did you know niggas that went to daycare?
Yes, I was one of them too.
Who could afford daycare?
It was cheaper.
Niggas in the hood could not afford daycare. You found one woman in the hood, maybe, that would take on all the little nigglets, and y'all might give her $2. No, daycare nowadays is what he just said. He said $2,000 a month. No nigga in the hood is looking to pay $2,000 a month for you to take care of their kid.
All right, but it's called in-house daycare, like in-home daycare.
Yeah, family. My great aunt took care of me when I was my mom.
Sway.
And I wasn't there every day.
Okay, so wait, you live where you live. Where's your aunt, cousins, and brothers? Where are they in the same state or are they in different states?
When I was growing up, the majority of them was
I'm
around.
talking about right now.
Majority of them are either around. Most of them are still on the East Coast. I would say about
But not in the same state though.
No, well, they're not that far though. I'm saying because about a third of them is about one state away. I'll say another 40% are still around in the same state, and then another whatever the rest of the percent is somewhere up and down the East Coast, or maybe somewhere in the South. But yeah, I don't know where them niggas at. But yeah, it's about a good 70% still in the good surrounding areas. You know, good
And
within 3 hours of each other.
And where are you in relation to that 70%?
What you mean? Like where am I?
Like
I'm
how far?
within that
Like how
70%.
far? Okay, so you're in the same area.
Well, like, cause it's either it's either the state I'm in or the one state over, and it's all within like a 3 hour radius of each other.
Drive.
Yeah, the furthest person is like 3 hours away.
Okay, so on a day-to-day basis, you needing some type of childcare to watch. Is your family? Is it a 3 hour drive each day that you?
No. In terms of my direct family, like my mom, my dad, my grandma.
Yeah, like I was just talking like where they
like my aunts and my cousins and stuff.
I was saying brother. I was saying
immediate
family.
They here.
Oh, well then, okay,
They
well then,
here.
yeah, that's a good. I was
They
like,
right
bro,
here.
like how
10 minutes away.
I'm not finna. Oh, okay, man. I'm about to say I'm not gonna call my dad 3 hours away. And be like, hey, pops, can you watch
that nigga 15 minutes away, and my girl Ma around here too. So shit.
Okay, so I don't know if that's the norm.
I ain't gonna have these issues. That's what I'm saying. That's major city problems. I didn't move away. I didn't go out to New York or DC.
Okay, you stay near the family.
Yeah, I'm chilling where I believe I'm not chilling where I believe. I'm chilling where I'm at. I'm chilling where I've been at. Granted, I've thought about leaving, but I've said it before. Where I'm at is damn near the safest place in the world. There is no extra going on really. There probably been extra one time, and that was from outside influences. But there's no tornado. No mass shootings. There's no school shootings. There's no earthquakes. There's no crazy, anything going on. It's boring as hell in terms of, if you wanted to think about having to survive, like you're not risking getting shot randomly by some random 14-year-old trying to rob you or some weird shit. Like there's none of that going on for the most part. So unless you go finding yourself to be in some stupid influences, if you want to go fuck around and find out, there's a bunch of that going on. You can go find out if you want, but for the most part, people mind their business. There's pockets. There's like one city. There's two cities that have a lot of crime. Everywhere else is damn near country, and there's not that much shit going on. Or college town.
And if you had like a really good economic opportunity to make six figures, you wouldn't leave.
I feel like I can do that here.
Okay, I'm just saying, but even if something like that came up, you still wouldn't leave though.
Depends.
It
depends. Because 6 figures is a big ass. It's 100 to 999. It was closer to 999.
You know what I'm saying? I love y'all, but
you got to do a cost of living exchange. Me going from where I'm at to where I'm in New York, it damn near.
That's crazy.
It's like the same. I'm pretty much spending the 60 or whatever extra thousand or 40 extra thousand or 50 extra thousand I would make. I'm going to end up be spending and taxed on. So it's like, for what? And I got to deal with all the other bullshit that New York brings with it. I'm cool on that, man. I would need an exorbitant amount of money. I would need to make at least to feel like I want to live in New York. I would need to make at least $350,000 in the city. Yeah, it's not worth it, bro. That shit whack.
All right, baby.
Atlanta, 700,000.
700.
$2,000 a month. I mean, that's, I understand why people look at that and go, shit, I can't afford a house. I can't afford this. Like this.
I almost died too many times in Atlanta, bro. That's why. I've actually almost died less amount of times in New York than the very few amount of times I've been to Atlanta. Like, niggas don't care, bro. They don't care. I've literally been in the left lane. That was the only turning lane, and I was turning, pull up. Somebody just came swoosh around me and just ran right in front of my car. And if I didn't have a check on my rear views and just stop, I either just popped me or I would have been dead. At least my girl, she was in the side. Somebody would have died. He probably would try to blame me and shoot me or some goofy shit. Like, why would you turn there? Nigga, that was my question. That was what I was thinking.
That's my question to you, idiot.
911. I got a dumbass nigga over here, bro. Pull up for I kill this. Nah, it was crazy. I went the first time in Atlanta, went to Chick-fil-A, motherfucking security guard was strapped.
Yeah, no niggas stay strapped.
Like, why y'all got security? Oh, that's why. Because this wife beater ass nigga with the low riding pants got a gun hanging out the front of his fucking pants because it's an open carry and nobody give a fuck. Ah, man. Yeah, 700,000. 700,000. And then niggas getting confused, niggas getting tricked up out there. You never know what you might be getting into. You might get a dude, you might get a girl, you might get a this, you might get a that. Yeah, I'm good on Atlanta. 700,000.
700,000. 700,000.
This is a burden I can't take on even if I want to. But and you talk to a lot of, there's several young men quoted in the piece. I think one of them is actually like 18. What is there? How do you explain their increased interest? Like, what's going on there? Why are Gen Z men like increasingly fired up about being a dad? What are they telling you? What is the data saying? Like, why are Gen Z men increasingly interested in having kids, starting families?
Yeah, I mean, the way that one expert sort of put it to me was that, for a long time, it was assumed in American culture that you should want to have kids and that people would want to have kids. And it is women who have pulled away from it and men who have not pulled away. With the young men I talked to, I think I got a certain sense of that, where one of them, just talked about like his friends who are male think of this as like something they're going to do one day. They think of it as like, a capstone or like, just a really important part of a full life. And it's something that they assume that they're going to do.
What would you say are the most, like the primary reasons you get from women, or you see in the data from Gen Z women about why they're hesitant? What are the main reasons?
Well, one expert explained it to me like it's never been more costly for women to have a child.
Okay, so we're hearing their reason this way. I just want to know
propaganda.
Okay, nigga, it's expensive. All right, so that's the first.
You got two incomes. Yeah, it's expensive. You're gonna do it by yourself. If the idea that you're gonna have children, you're supposed to do it by yourself, and you.
Right, what's the average income of a man and a woman in America? Because those are two different incomes. They're not the exact same. And one's lower, one's higher.
45 50. About 45 to 50. That's about
Let's
it.
Look
right
it up.
there.
I think it's 32 some shit for women.
You're
really
lying.
Average.
You're lying. I don't believe you.
Salary.
Chichi's a liar, y'all. He's lost his smart guy card.
Oh my god. Bruh, it ain't looking good. Oh, it's even worse the younger you are. Oh god. The median here. I'm gonna share it. Where's my screen? Share this.
You already sharing the screen.
No, here it is. The median, the age-based earnings, the median, the middle is 21 to 33. What did I say? Didn't I say something like that, right?
Damn, I'm doing great for myself then.
You see what I'm saying? Niggas is out here, Sway. This shit is not a game. It is not. None of this is, bro. Let's look at for the men now. All right.
Oh, this is everybody. Yeah. That's just age.
No, it's women.
It jumps up to 60,000. No.
Women.
30.
Yeah, but you're about to be fucking 40. You can't have kids at a certain point now. See, bro, this is why get median median salary for men in the US. All right.
It's 50,000, man. That's the median. That's the middle. Average income, $50,000 a year. That was about right.
Average age 35, 30.
Oh, this is men? Oh my God, men is doing amazing. So I see who was holding who back. So yeah, if they by themselves, see, if you bring your 30 plus this nigga 70, you're good. But you out here carrying 30,000 and thinking, yeah, life is so hard. Yes, because the other nigga you supposed to be with is bringing the other 72 that you should be partnering up with.
Yeah, let's
see.
All right, let's give it these Asian men. You know what I'm saying? Now look at this shit, bro. Hey, come on, bro. Bro, you gotta slow it down. You better slow
that's still better than whatever the other numbers was.
Shit, is it really? Look at this.
Because what's the 1083? That's like 50,000.
Okay.
Oh, that's for wait. Oh, go back up. Wherever you was. What was I just reading? It says compared to 1202 for men. So, and this was all women. That includes the Asian women, which are, they are not.
We need to see if they can break that down. I'll swear. Niggas ain't out here rich, buddy.
But $1,000, like $1,000 a month is like 4,500
a week.
I mean, 45,000 a week. $1,000 a week. Sorry, $1,000 a week is like 45,000.
It says weekly. Yeah. All right, weekly. Let me share this. Weekly earning gap: men's 1362 earn more than women. In the first quarter 2026, women making approximately 80% of the median for men.
Well, if they make $1,000 a week, let's just, I guess, if it's 52 weeks, then it'll be 52,000. But let's just say 50 weeks, whatever. They took 2 weeks off for whatever reason. That's $50,000, nigga.
That's chump change right now.
But I'm just saying in terms of if we're doing the average or whatever, you asked me how much do they make on average? Well,
hold on. He said $2,000 a week, or was it a month? What was it? 2,000 what?
Would want to have kids, and it is women who have pulled away from it and have not pulled away.
I can't take on if I want to, but you talk to
and that are expressing this pretty
hard, and it's really expensive.
Pretty social aspiration to have a family.
Having kids is just really hard, and it's really expensive, increasingly expensive, especially if you live. I mean, when we lived in the DC area before we moved, we had a 6-month-old. Daycare was $2,000 a month, a preschool.
Bro,
you don't got to pay $2,000 a month if you got an abuela around.
Of course you. I mean, sure, yeah. That's if that's your situation, but if that's not your situation, you are fucked. Okay, so great. Now, if you just so happen, nigga, just because you decided to stay there, and other people.
It's because you decided to leave what was built and go off on your own, and you wanted to go to the big fancy dancy city, and now you take what comes with that. Don't complain about
increased interest. What's going on there? Why are gens
in American culture that you should want to have kids and that people would want to have kids, and it is women who have pulled away from it and men who have not pulled away. With the young men I talked to, I think I got a certain sense of that, where one of them, just talked about his friends who are male think of this as something they're going to do one day. They think of it as
women about why they're hesitant. What are the main reasons?
Well, one expert explained it to me it's never been more costly for women to have a child. And that doesn't mean it's harder than ever to be a mom.
And that's not including having the kid. You know how much it costs to get the kid out the coochie? That's crazy. Why am I, bro?
It means that many women, most women in the US probably have more options than they've ever had. So women's salaries still aren't at parity with men's, but they're higher than they've ever been. Women's educational attainment is really high. There's a sense that there's an increasing social sense that women can live a full life without becoming mothers, and that's fine. There's a lot more acceptance for it. So it's whereas women used to just really not have that many options for their lives, now they have lots, and you're giving some of that up when you have a child. It's documented that you're giving up some salary.
No question.
Yeah, you're giving up some time. So I think that's part of it, is just women have not reached equality with men, but they have come to approach it more and more, and so they have more and more choices. And having children becomes a more and more sort of costly choice. And then too, I think you'll hear from young women this concern that their partners are not going to pull their weight. I get into this in the piece that we have seen real shifts in terms of how much childcare men do, but it's not 50-50, and women know that. They may.
That matters too.
Nigga, they don't pay the same amount of dates, nigga, bills. They don't pay enough. How many times? I'm not trying to hear that shit, bro.
Okay, I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yo, this is the craziest thing, and I swear I love my wife to death.
What you about to say?
Food for us, bro. And I usually am the one to order us sushi and stuff, right? But she ordered us food. Tell me why all she ordered was one shrimp tempura roll, one thing of gyoza and one thing of udon. I looked at her when I went to get it. I went to go get it and come back because she was taking a shower. I was like, "Did you just order for yourself?"
All right, dog.
I said, when have I ever just got one roll? She's like, but it was she's like, that was $32. I was like, how much do you think I spend? Like, oh my God, man.
All right, they're giving their reasons why. I'm just saying, here are their reasons. You look, you don't have to agree with them. I'm just saying this is interesting.
Also increasingly know that they're going to be bringing in a lot of the money too. Just, data wise, most families are 2-income families. I think a lot of women also know that they are going to end up, contributing economically at least 50%, if not more than 50%. So I think there is a worry that they're going to be doing more than half on the home front. They're going to be doing at least half, if not more than half career wise. And so I think that can start to seem like a bad deal too.
Maybe the thing that surprised me the most is that it would appear with Gen Z men in particular, it seems like the trend is that towards more like a preference for traditional division of labor, right? Or this idea that to be a man means to be the breadwinner, right? Which is fascinating to me, and because I want to find this real quick because I don't want to get it wrong. And I'm just going to read the quote too, if you don't mind, because this is really shocking. And the quote is that, and this is a study from 2025. So 28% of Gen Z men, 28, said a stay-at-home dad was, quote, less of a man, compared with 25% of millennials. And this is what really shocked me. And just 12% of baby boomers. So 12% of baby boomers said that staying at home as a dad made you less of a man. I can't make sense of that because it just seems like my dad's generation, just had much more regressive views about this. How do you make sense of that? How did boomers have more, progressive views about this than Gen Z? That seems baffling.
I know. I thought that poll was really funny. And I also was really bowled over by the boomer numbers. I feel like I could do a story just on that poll.
Seems like it has to be wrong.
Well, what I wondered...
Is it possible there's a typo?
I know.
That, in the study or something?
Like 121%. No, I mean, what I wondered about that study is I don't have the data in front of me of what percentage of boomer dads stayed home with their children while their children were young. But I wonder if you have boomer dads sort of, excuse me, looking back with hindsight at their lives and being oh, if I had stayed home, it would have been okay. Or just having more distance from, the direct act of childcare. But I do think it's of a piece with some polling and data that we see from Gen Z men, just expressing a variety of kind of traditionalist gender ideas. I talked to a guy who does a lot of polling with Gen Z. And he did say that when he polls young men, they really associate masculinity with being a provider, more so than any other sort of characteristic. So they're not associating it primarily with giving care, for example, which you could imagine.
If they worried about care, niggas worried about money.
But this is what I'm saying. I actively cultivated this environment so I wouldn't have to pay or worry about the care of $2,000. In terms of what my career profession is to what my wife's career profession is, I actively thought about those things so that I'm not sitting here thinking I could have my cake and eat it too. Nah, I mean, that's what a lot of people are doing is they think they can have their cake and eat it too, and then they cry about it later. You're going to have to actively think about those things if you want those outcomes.
All right.
So I do think there is I think this move toward what you could call a more regressive.
Of those numbers, I think it was more so hindsight. The older men are looking back yeah, I've sacrificed a lot of my life doing such and such. I would have much rather spent the time, being home with my kids. I don't think that's nothing wrong with that if he can stay home, or let's say he got injured or something. A lot of men will probably co-sign that as long as he's still in their life, influencing them. If he can't actively work the same, they're not going to necessarily say he's less of a man. Now, if he's sitting there on the fucking couch as an able-bodied man, actively not taking care of his family or doing anything about it, I don't know if you call that a stay-at-home husband, but what's they call it? A hobosexual? Yeah, I think they will call that man a less of a man. That's dependent on a woman.
Gender structure among Gen Z men, but I also think that we're seeing other moves in the opposite direction.
Do you have a unified theory for why men are moving in that direction? Is it a reaction against something? Is it just the political winds just happen to be blowing that way at this moment in history? Or What do you think explains that?
It's hard because I have this feeling that any polling really flattens people's attitudes toward these aspects of life that are just incredibly complicated, even more complicated than like, who are you going to vote for? A lot of media geared toward young men right now is not especially friendly toward like gender equity. Like there's definitely a theory that like tradwife content is and was mostly for young men. I feel like the tradwife is less ascendant than it used to be as an archetype. I think there's less cultural purchase there, but plenty of podcasts where the audience is primarily young men are not like super feminist necessarily. So I think the media environment is definitely a factor. And everybody I talked about, like real difficulties for young men in terms of education, in terms of finding jobs, when people are having a really hard time in their lives is not their most generous time or their time of most generosity toward people who are different from them or toward people who they see as competing with them, which is sometimes a narrative you get about young men and young women. So I think,
not gonna lie, it sounds like women are being more logical. It sounds like women are being way more logical than the men. Yeah, I want kids, but I can't afford them shits, and I'm not the one pushing them out. And women are looking at it like, look, if I leave this job, I'm not gonna be able to make as much money. It's already hard enough to make money. Sound like women are being logical. Because if you make a logical argument, I don't understand that. Like, niggas is not getting jobs like that. Like, niggas is not making that much money. And if women keep doing what they're doing when it comes to like looking at helping around the house and all that extra, because I understand, Sway. You're saying, look, I'm making and paying for most of this stuff. Tell me you think she not gonna ask you for help. Tell me that. Tell me you think she not. Come on.
So
bro.
she's gonna ask you for help, right? And it's on you to figure out how that help is going to be facilitated. It could be you. You could help her. You could pay somebody to help her. You could find somebody to help her.
Hey,
you could
okay.
do whatever you need to do. But yeah, she's gonna ask you for help. She's always gonna ask for you for help. The thing is, when men with money, they generally outsource that help rather than themselves.
What if you don't have money? All right, so the money is not there because most niggas is broke.
And the other portion of that, you're not gonna like it when I say it, but I think it's somewhat true, is kids. You breaking kids, and they're gonna be your little helpers.
Wait, so have kids to take care of kids. And those kids when they get older,
they're gonna start doing chores. They're gonna start washing dishes, doing laundry.
This is why I'll support that. Because as a kid, as the oldest, fuck that. Fuck you and fuck that. Like, and this is why I don't know.
The kids don't raise the kids. Listen. The kids don't raise the kids. The kids are
what do you call doing those things? Taking care of everything while you're doing something else.
That's just chores. You're delegating.
Okay, so you're delegating. Nobody asked the kid to be here.
On the bigger picture, like influencing your little ass, right? So that I could be doing the things in the community to make sure you're safe outside this home. So you help me keep this house clean, right? You delegate some of that labor so that now when I need to go to what's it called? I don't even know. I almost called it a PT meeting. What are those like school board meetings and shit like that?
Parent teacher conferences?
Yeah, whatever all that is, right? When I go down there and I got to fight for your little ass, I can go down there and fight with some veracity, some authority, that I actually like my kid, I believe my kid, and my kid's hard working, right? And now I got the time to go do it because I know my house is
reward.
And do that with
reward that by having another little nigga to take care of while they're little niggas.
You just try, bro. No, all of them are going to be helping each other. You're not the only one. It's not like we just made a kid to take care of the kids. They take care of each other. They take care of the house.
You need to talk to the oldest sibling.
This is how we got here. This is how we got here, right? You said she's gonna ask you for help with the housework. He said, "How are you gonna help her?" I said, "Well, it don't gotta be you. So you're gonna make kids to help her with the housework, not to take care of the kids. It's just the housework." That's what we were addressing.
And kids are just clean and all of that, right? They're just clean.
Well, everyone else is gonna help clean too, but the dad's probably not. That's what I'm saying. Right. I'm gonna
okay. So if you're saying the dad's probably not, and that's because
they can't drive a lawnmower. Can they? A 6-year-old can drive a lawnmower? No. So I'm gonna have to drive that shit. Can he go outside and make money? No. Can he shoot a gun confidently? No. Can he beat up a grown ass man? No. So he got
It
different
sound-
responsibilities than I do. Yes.
and
I'm
it
not
sound
doing
like-
all that shit if he's sitting there. If dishes in the sink and I got a 6-year-old son, get your little ass up, nigga. You ain't playing
No,
no video games.
no. We're not talking about the 6-year-old son that's by himself, right? You
By
said,
himself. I could have 3 other little kids around too. Them niggas doing something too.
and then while who's watching those kids on a regular basis? The mom?
Depends. It depends. There's no. That's what I'm saying. It's not the mom, dad, and that's the only people around. I told you I got my peoples around. It could be me. It could be my grandma. I mean, it could be my mom. It could be my dad. It could be my granddad. It could be her
So
mom.
you're speaking to you, right? And so women that are not in that position, then they just shit out of love.
Well, you put the burden of responsibility on the dude. That's why I said you talking. She's going to come to you to help her, and so it's on the nigga to figure that out. Who are you going to get? Are you going to help her yourself, nigga, or are you going to find somebody else? Are you going to pay somebody else? But yeah, she's going to ask you at some point to help her with it.
Yeah. Okay. I'm glad I'm not a girl, and I'm glad I will never be pregnant. Fuck that. Yeah, y'all got it.
You could be a girl and still never get pregnant.
I know, and then niggas gonna be like, "Ah, you ain't shit. You ain't shit. You don't care about kids. You don't care about family. You ain't shit. You know."
You could be like this. Well, I know I ain't shit. That's why I'm not having kids. Why would I want to be putting my ain't shitness onto a new generation of kids?
Right.
I'm a bad influence.
You're right, and at least you know, and that's what I respect.
Coke addicts should not.
I respect women for not falling for the narrative and falling for the bullshit of being forced to feel like they gotta have kids, because all of this shit sound like some dumbass shit. I am so glad women are like, nah, we don't want kids. Great.
If you're an irresponsible person, man, I'm cool with you not having kids, man or woman.
Man, I feel like that's most people. So keep these motherfuckers out the world, please. I only trust. I trust you. You know what I'm saying? I think you're gonna do an outstanding job if you ever, whatever you want to do. I think you'll be able to do it. Now, everybody else, kill yourself. Everybody else, grab a gun and we'll share the bullets and guns together. Don't have no kids. You shouldn't procreate.
Don't sign that message. Don't do that to yourself.
Nah, don't. In a video game. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, that. Don't do that. But don't have children either. I'm very glad about this. I'm very glad a lot of women aren't having kids. I'm very glad a lot of men won't be able to have kids with those women. So glad. I'm super glad. I would hate to have a multitude of people that behave and believe what they believe. No, keep them niggas. Oh, yes. Matter of fact, get a vasectomy and get your tubes, and women get your tubes out, so we don't have no more of these little niggas running around, because y'all are not it. Y'all aren't good. You're not going to be good parents. You don't have enough money to do so. You don't have anything needed to be a good parent. Don't do it.
I think that's all in the mix.
If you just play this out a little bit, it seems like this is going to be a problem, right? With young men and young women moving in different directions, wanting different things, having competing visions of, what it means to be a dad or a mom. And I mean, and of course, politically, young men are moving to the right, and women are moving more and more to the left. Actually, I think the drift with women to the left has been a little bit more pronounced than men to the right, but still, that is a general movement.
Everything is against you. They don't even agree with you politically. Everything. Yeah, this is great.
I mean, how's that going to play?
We're in a good space in America. Thank God. Oh, this is perfect. Perfect time to have kids, where everybody is going literally this way on every stance in the world. This is great. Right now, no, absolutely not, bro. Yeah, no, I'm glad women are deciding not to do that.
I think every generation has had their own war, man. And we just dealing with ours differently, bro. Because this is insane.
Right.
This is like,
we are literally, Sway, this is what I'm telling you. We are so far. It really has become a gender war. It's not what it was 4 years ago when we were talking. It's not the same. We have moved so far and so quickly. I'm telling you, bro. I am telling you. It's scary. I don't know. I have no idea what the world's going to look like if I ever decide to have a kid, and it won't ever be on purpose. It'll be because I got raped and she took my seed from me, because I would not willingly do that. This is terrible. No one can afford these fucking kids. No one is caring about these kids. We have an Epstein file, and this nigga's still running off. Bro, nigga, this is over, my nigga. It's over. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I trust the small towns to keep it going. Don't move to a big city. Sway's right. If you're not making a 700,000 plus, don't do it. Kill yourself. I mean, in a video game. Just don't be here. Because I'm telling you, it's gonna get worse. We're moving completely opposite of each other, and it's no coming back.
Right, both politically and just culturally, right? I mean, if
that's literally the advice I give people. Not that what you just said, but the advice I give people, Cheeky, like in my real life that are going through certain relationship issues. I was like, if you guys are physically attracted to each other and you morally align, then everything else can work out. But the problem is niggas are not morally aligning with each other at all.
At all, Sway. It's not even close.
It's like there's the physical attraction, moral alignment, and then when you're actually in the relationship, you need trust and communication. But if you don't have these things, niggas don't have that moral alignment. So you're always going to be at discourse within your trust and communication. But you need these first two first. You need moral alignment and physical attraction. So I just, yeah, niggas is set up for failure, bro. This is everybody right now within this zeitgeist. What is the words now? The zeitgeist of what we call the West. Zeitgeist of what we call the West. Yes, we are literally fucked. And the minority of us that can kind of see through what bullshit is going on and kind of grab someone, you know, by the hand and pull them out with us and can run away from this bullshit and try to just do what we need to do. But yeah, this is different. I don't think any generation of people have had to go through.
It's never been this. It's never been this way. It's never been this.
This degree, even with the Shahrazad Ali's and all that other old school videos, even in that age, it used to be an insult and a shaming tactic amongst women. Like, bitch, you ain't even got no man. That even during those times, it used to be, bitch, you don't even have a man as a shaming tactic to other women. Having a man was still a thing, right? Nowadays, it's like, bitch, you getting played by, man. You look goofy or whatever it is. And then the niggas are, I had to talk to a young man about a year ago, and he said he don't want his daughter to go to college because she was going to turn out to be like this. He's going to like train her to be a housewife. I was like, bro, that's so fucking stupid. Why would you set your daughter up for failure? Why would you? It's not like I said to him that I was saying to you. It's not her going to college. It's the mentality behind it. Like, your ass is trying to sit here and stunt your daughter growth because you traumatized, nigga. Don't do that. Have a complete thought, nigga. Think on both sides and come to a conclusion. Your ass is only thinking on one side and then you're gonna get a better outcome. No, it's so crazy to me that people think either they got to think on 0 or 100. Nah, it's not on opposite sides of the extreme is going to get the better outcome. You need to find somewhere closer to the middle. It can be on one or the other side, and what works for you, but it's going to be somewhere closer to the middle. It's never going to be on an extreme side. And that's a lot of people's issues. Biometrically opposing? Biometric.
No, diametrically
opposing. Yeah.
Yeah, bro. We don't agree on politics. We don't agree on nothing. Like, women are on one side and men are going the other way. Like, men, it's literally a split. So I don't see how this
to give. No.
I don't see how this ever gonna work. I don't know.
You know, it's definitely something that I think we see in a lot of data and something we talk about a lot, something that like has real implications politically for elections. It has implications for families. But I think the bottom line for me, just from like all my reporting about like families and childbearing and all this kind of stuff, is like there are lots of ways that we could make it easier as a country for people to have the families that they want. And I think that would end up benefiting everybody, right? Men, women, people of all genders. I think things like paid leave, and I'm not just talking, like experts talking about this too, things like paid leave or affordable childcare, that would probably help women. It would help women who are like, gee, I'd like to have a kid one day, but I don't know if I can handle it with my career. I don't know if I can afford it. And it would help men because it would convince more women that they are okay with having children. So if you're worried about all these men who really want kids and women are not so sure, a great way to address that worry is to support the women.
Because they're the only ones that can have the kids. So again, it's like this. I understand strong men this, strong men that, teach women this, teach women that. We are not in control of this situation. It's almost like the situation in China where they was aborting all the female babies and then it came around and their population was declining and now they have to cater to women. because they're the only ones that can produce a kid. So if you don't meet the demands of a woman and you're asking her to carry your kid, it makes sense why she say no. If I say help around the house and you go, well, I'll pay for everything. I said help around the house. Now who in control?
Whoever concedes first. I would say that society needs to promote certain things that they want, right? And I think they do. So if they were promoting younger people getting together and growing, substantiate, and trying to build within society, they would probably, them and old people would be the biggest recipients of affordable housing and EBT. Like, you having to pay for a dorm, why couldn't they just live in quote unquote Section 8 housing that's near college campus and it's all college kids, called college students, that at some point meet a certain, curricular achievement, accomplishment, right? It's like, and our old people, why are there 75-year-olds and 80-year-olds and 90-year-olds still driving or having to worry about rent or whatever the fuck? It's like, that's insane. So yeah, I think most people, able-bodied people, 25 through 55-year-olds, 60-year-olds shouldn't be, be in affordable housing and all this other goofy shit, but we go based on poverty level, right? So we pretty much promote people to be poor and dumb because we'll give them free shit. We give them free shit for being poor and dumb. If you gave them free shit, smart and trying to have a family, or you contributed to society for 75 years, 65 years or whatever, and so now you don't have to worry about this shit no more. It's like, I feel like it, even when we talk about the baby deletions, I feel like even then, everyone has their limits. It's not most people aren't 0 to 100, maybe in conversations, but most people are somewhere like, okay, it's 12 weeks, or if it's 30 weeks, or if it's this week or whatever. For me, even scratch all that, it'd be the age. Like, you couldn't have one outside of extreme circumstances, up to me, like past like 21. Like after 21, if it wasn't like impeding the mother's health or life, or you got graped or something and that whatever, like, you're not just about to use it as a birth control. That don't make sense.
Now, again, I understand what you're saying,
but we don't promote that. We wouldn't promote that. This logic would make sense if they did something young and dumb before the age of 21. We give them the out. After that, you don't get no out. You don't get no young and dumb card no more.
Right. So sure, but when women by and large disagree with you, and if they hear that, they're not going to have sex with you. They're not going to. You're not going to be happy. No, not you. Oh, well, I mean, on a personal level, I mean, just given the situation, of course. But I'm saying, yeah, in general.
I've been on YouTube, Cheeky. I don't know how to not personalize statements anymore, bro. I don't know. Say you, I mean me, nigga. You say you don't.
Okay, I got you. So I'm speaking to the general audience, to the young men. If you are pro-life, you're out of luck, buddy. I'm telling you, I do have clips of conservative men complaining about not being able to date women, especially liberal women, because of their stance on politics. I'm telling you, it's getting that. Wait, it's over. Either you adapt or die.
And I think that ends up helping everybody across the board.
Really
is there a world where
you being pro babies, like babies being born as a man, is somehow a negative?
Yeah, because you're trying to control a woman's body.
No, I'm not trying to control it. I'm just for it. I'm for you having a child. I don't care. It's up to you if you do it or not. But if you were to give it up to me, I would be like, yeah, have the kid.
Yeah. So let me ask you this.
So that's in my head. Like, I'm not.
Okay. I get what you're saying. Right. We agree. We're on the same page. If it came down to it, would you make it a law for them not to be able to do that?
No. I leave it up to a choice.
Oh, okay. So that's where I think most men would probably disagree with you there. They would say I would make it a law not for them not to be able to do it. and then that from that point on, it's probably over. Yeah,
this is what I'm saying. There's literally a group of women that had this law in place, and they chose to not use it in mass.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not the ability to do it, is how your influence is on them as to why they're doing it. You raise women that have co-signed and thought it was okay to do so, and society promotes that by other outsourced means like social media, of people loudly saying that it's negative to say a woman can't do it or shouldn't do it. I don't give a fuck. I could care less. If I could just say, if it was up to me, I think the baby should probably be born. Or this is what I would say. If you do get it deleted, just call a spade a spade. Let's not sit here and say it's not a baby, it's not a this, it's a micro whatever fetus, it's a blah blah. Nah,
Zygote, yeah, I got you.
We out here marking them. Let's just call it a spade. You know what I mean? That's how I feel about it. I don't really care too much, but don't sit here thinking you're not going to be labeled as a baby killer. Because if I was to hit you with being pregnant, it'd be a double homicide. If I was to murder you, a pregnant woman, it wouldn't be a single homicide, it'd be a double.
Nope. But we'll see how well that goes with ladies.
Women are able to have children without paying the professional price they've had to pay.
Sure. I mean, there's plenty of countries where the wage gap is smaller. Generally what people talk about, again, is things like paid leave and affordable, accessible childcare. In countries where women take really long leaves.
Our wage gap is a cent. It's 99 cents to every dollar. She said the wage gap could be smaller in other countries. What's smaller than that?
Because our wage gap is 99 cents way.
It is what you extrapolate all the factors. Look it up.
Well,
let's Google it. We're gonna have to end this stream, Cheeky. We're about to be 4 hours in. This is past my limit.
Yeah, let's go ahead, bro. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead.
We have too much fun. We're talking about too much smart shit, and we're being too influential. We need to go about our days and do dumb shit so we can be stressless. This is the weekend, right? We need to have some fun on the weekend. I actually do something. This place closes at 5. But that's cool.
Yeah. I was just on the phone, so I'm with you on that, bro. Let's go ahead and.
Damn, I appreciate everybody who showed up today. I know y'all didn't show up to the Conscious Banter channel. I know y'all showed up to Cheeky Banter's channel.
Let's promote that so they can come over to that one.
Pull up to the Conscious Banter channel, man. That's our channel, man. Me and Cheeky. He's mainly right now just co-streaming off of his shit to get some traction going. But the idea is that you're going to see us two. It's for the Conscious Banter channel. It's a new channel me and Cheeky created. Just going to be reacting, talking, debating, amongst ourselves with you guys. We didn't really get a chance today. We dropped it earlier, but nobody joined. But if we do drop the link, we generally want to do one-on-ones. We don't really want a whole panel. And so we'll drop the link after every other video to see if anybody has any comments, concerns, disagreements, or want any personal advice involving dating relations or maybe something within our field of expertise. But yeah, that's the idea and influence, the direction we want to go with the show. But I appreciate everybody for showing up, man. Oh, y'all in the conscious community? I don't know what that means, man. Is that like some Hebrew Israelite thing?
I don't know. We're not in the conscious community. So to be fair, this is Sway is the captain. I'm the co-captain.
He joined too late.
I
ain't got time for all that shit right now. He joined too late. We was in the middle of reviewing.
JP. Oh, JP. Are you talking about Jay Prince? Who is JP? If it's Jay Prince, I have not looked at the comments like that. But again, at the end of the day,
because I was looking at the show like when he came, and then he kept playing the video. I was like, fuck, all right, let me react to it. But most of
we are a little rusty at this, so we'll get back into the groove.
I was saying it was a while ago, so I would have had to. No, most of the streams are trying to stick within like a 3-hour range, so we would want to react for like an hour and a half, and then have the last hour and a half for anybody that wants to have those one-on-ones. But it's all good.
Yeah, it's all good. Till next time, guys. We're gonna go ahead and end the show. Any final thoughts, dog?
No, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all be easy. Have a blessed Sunday. Have a good week.
Y'all be safe. Gonna play this outro.
Turn it up. Conscious Banter. We in here. Conscious Banter. Yeah, we speaking with a purpose. Laugh a little, think deeper under the surface. Two minds, one vibe. Yeah, we keep it real talk. From the jokes to the truth. Every time that we walk. Kick back, tune in, let the combo unfold. From the random to the real, yeah, we breaking them mold. Got opinions, got laughs, got perspective to share. If you're thinking out loud, then you already there. No scripts, just vibes, yeah, we flow off the dome. Turn a question to a journey, make the unknown home. We debate, elevate, never stuck in the lane. Conscious Banter, say the name, let it echo your brain. Conscious Banter, yeah, we speaking with a purpose. Laugh a little, think deeper under the surface. Two minds, one vibe, yeah, we keep it real talk. From the jokes to the truth, every time that we walk. Conscious Banter. Tap in.